To upload Windows Update 25H2.
And we are live. So now we officially change the topic of conversation, don't we? Oh, now we officially change the conversation, don't we?
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all.
I think you need musicians' music. There you go.
Audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew here to
Glad to see the band made it.
Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore
The solo
every
lead in.
single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck. We've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way.
It brings a smile to my face every time I hear that song. Ah, I love it. And of course, as we were starting, I forgot to change to original audio because I still don't have a button that lets me do that. So I have to move my mouse with my big fat hand over into this little screen and find the tiny little carrot thing, click that, scroll down, click. God almighty. Hi, everyone. How you doing? Good to see you. We are here to learn about Stream Alive, and I'm so excited. Let's first just go around, just quick say hello to some folks. Peter Sargent, first one in the kitchen today. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great, sir. How about yourself?
We can't hear a thing you're saying. Or maybe it's just me. I
can
can't hear
hear
a thing you're saying. I don't know.
I can
Can you
hear
hear
him.
me?
Oh, you can hear him. I just can't?
Yeah.
Well, that's Something's wrong there. That's a problem. All right, you all talk among. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk.
No,
amongst
you
yourselves.
silly sausage. We can't hear you at all. You'll have
Wait
to
till it
watch
goes
that on
back
the
and watch
replay.
it on
'Cause I
YouTube.
can't hear a
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
you-
watch it on YouTube then. You'll catch us up 30 seconds behind. That'll be an interesting conversation then, won't it?
All right. Well, with David having technical difficulties, let's keep going. Go ahead, Peter.
I said I'm doing great.
You're doing good,
yeah, I'm
David.
doing good. That's
not
it.
so much. Got it.
I at least have figured out how to control the mic on Zoom.
Attaboy. Attaboy. All right. We'll go to the next person that I know that was in the room. Mr. Harwood, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Mike. Just plenty to do. So I wanted to be here and catch up on Streamline.
Excellent. Do I dare say, Mr. Paskin, you're back?
Here's the problem. My big fat fingers. I clicked on the thing. Be quiet. I scrolled down, and instead of clicking the right thing, I changed my speaker in Zoom. Like, I'm sorry, but this is a real problem. We need a button. I want my button back in the top of the Zoom window to change audio. Okay.
That's why I just use the Zoom ISO client, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I usually use the Ecamm client, and in which case I don't have to worry about it. But for the Zoom Test Kitchen, I fall on the sword of suffering. Okay, let's move on. Mike, finish with the hellos because I don't know who you said hi to.
All right. I will go next to Lux, you're last because David's going to introduce you. So I'll go to somebody that hasn't been with us for a little bit. Mr. Jason, how's it going?
Greetings and salutations. Welcome everyone to the David Test Kitchen, where David gets to work through all his issues.
That might be semi-true.
I need so much therapy.
That's office hours.
Oh, and thumbs are flying in the room here from Ray Howard. All right. And someone that I actually don't know, but we'll come back to my Canadian guy in 1 second. Stephen, welcome yourself to the Zoom Test Kitchen community.
Wait, which Canadian guy are you talking about?
Oh, I was talking about Frank. Why, Stephen, are you Canadian as well?
Well, technically, I'm from Quebec, so a lot of Canada will disagree that I'm actually Canadian, but you still got to get through Quebec to get to the Maritimes, which are really beautiful in the spring and summer. So, plus we do have the world supply of maple syrup, so you're totally freaking welcome, FYI. But other than that, no, thank you. I'm doing well. I've only been here once or twice before and somehow refound this, and I said, okay, I'm going to come back in. So yeah, all good in the hood, as they say. Thank you.
All right. I will move from my Quebec province back to my Ontario province where I am, back to my cohort in crime. Mr. Frank, how are you doing this week, sir?
I'm good. How are you? I was born in Quebec too, so but I live in Ontario.
There you
Yeah,
go.
a lot of us did that. Not me.
All right. Who else have I missed? Oh, which John do I dare go in first? Oh, I don't know. 6'7"? 6'7", 5". Oh, Mr. Edelson, you've been picked. How are you doing there, sir?
I'm doing very well, but I'm not sure whether I need to do this in French because we have two French Canadians. But I'm here in beautiful Monterey, California, and I'm here as the Lux fan club. You're going to be blown away.
Excellent. Excellent. That's almost a segue, but I'll go to the other John, the Lord Zoom himself, Mr. Drinkwater.
Greetings and salutations. I had my 720p and now I'm ready for anything.
Yes. You missed it earlier. See, that's why you got to be in as a panelist.
No, you know what? Don't like. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. It's all about the P's. I understand that. Speaking,
I'm not doing your Stream Deck plugin now. Then that's fine.
yeah, I understand.
Stream Deck.
Yes, you wanted the buttons. John's going to get you the buttons. All right, we're going to Jen next. Jen, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing great. I'm beside myself. Is there two of me on the screen? Because I'm beside myself right now. I tell you, my house is in escrow right now, and we just got the final appraisal. It appraised, and now I am moving out of the country for a while, and I have no place to put anything. So it's insane.
Excellent.
15,000 years of memory and memorabilia and all sorts of things that I just don't know what to do with. And so, hey. Anyway, welcome everybody.
Welcome. Jen's here. Look out. It's going to be interesting. It's going to get spicy. Mr. Paskin looks all disgusted.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Are we ready?
Are you ready to introduce? I think we've got everybody.
All right.
Hasmukh is off camera, but Hasmukh, we love you. And when you come on camera, we'll say hi.
Yes. Hasmukh, hello. Real quick note that Tony, who's watching on YouTube, asked if we could do a quick brief overview of the things that Andy covered last week. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. More, better. March 21st. For anything else, you can go back and watch the replay. But more, better, March 21st. But we wanted to start today with Lux from Stream Alive. Now, before we let you go, Lux, if you could just tell me, because I stressed about this, is it capital S or lowercase s? Because in your logo, it's lowercase s, capital A. But now you have it capital S, capital A.
Trust this to be the group that will spot that and call me out on it. So it's capital S and capital A.
It is capital S, capital A.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Lux is the CEO, the founder, the creator, the guru of Stream Alive, which really is a profound way to engage folks in your Zoom meeting. And what's profound about it is that it uses what everybody knows how to use. It uses chat. You don't need to install anything. There are no apps. There's nothing. It just works. And it's really brilliant in its implementation. And so Lux is going to walk us through a little bit of that today. So welcome, Lux. Thank you so much for coming.
Hey, thank you, David. Thank you for that lovely intro. And thanks everyone for a very, very warm welcome. John, no pressure saying Lux Fan Club and all that, but thank you for being here. I know you're in the middle of a whole bunch of things. Thanks for making it. Ray, I know you got something due on Monday. Thank you for making it. And yeah, it's good to be back. I come here with a mixture of fear and excitement. The fear is because usually I am the most Zoom savvy person in the room, and here I'm the least Zoom savvy person in the room. So I've come with some preparation because last time, thanks to Mike and John and Frank giving me a rap on the knuckles and a lecture on audio. Hopefully I sound a lot better this week than I did last week after the lecture on proximity. Thank you. It's made a difference already. So, hey, one session in that I've already learned a ton. I'm wondering what's going to happen over the weeks, but great to be here. Thank you.
All right. So what do you have a Stream Alive client in this meeting now?
I don't yet. I was planning to, and this is being very, very brave because normally you'd keep everything ready with the demo beforehand. And that's what I usually do in most of my, demoing Stream Alive. But this is a different group. This is a group I know from past experience, likes to get in the weeds, know exactly how the sausage was made. I'm vegetarian, but I will use that metaphor. So I thought I would kind of start from scratch, and yeah, things might break, but this again is a group where
Love
things
it.
break.
We love
right?
it when they break. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the best way, David? Can I just? I know there are some of you who are already Stream Alive familiar, and in fact power users of the platform. Some who are not. So can I just assume everyone's from scratch and just give a quick overview and then dive in?
Let's definitely assume everyone's from scratch. Yeah.
Perfect. And that's probably relevant for the folks on YouTube as well. So let's do that. I'm going to share my screen. That worked perfectly. Good start. And just going to make sure Zoom's changed all those sharing settings, right? So I'm just making sure the sound is on and sound is on. Everything's good. Perfect. So first things first, you would, if you wanted to do everything that I'm doing here today, you would simply go to streamalive.com, sign up for a free account, and everything I'm showing today can be done with the only limitation that a free account allows for only 5 participants in a session. So if you want to try it out, break things, test it out, make sure it works for you, that's the best way to get started. But once you sign up for a StreamAlive account, you're kind of going to be in the web app that I'm going to show you in a second. But before I dive in there, David, I love how you announced it in Discord. StreamAlive helps enrich your Zoom sessions. That's a great way of putting it. And really, the villain for us is one-way presentations. We just think we need to stop one-way presentations, especially in virtual sessions where they hurt even more. And we believe that the best way to stop one-way presentations is do what it says on my T-shirt, which is unmute the audience, which is fine if it's an audience of the number of people we are in the room today, and you can literally unmute ourselves and have a conversation. But when you have a double-digit number of people in the room, 10 or more, you can't have everyone speaking. You're going to have cacophony. So the best way to unmute is by, David, like you put it, breathing life into the chat. Because the other big insight we had was that people are introverts, people are extroverts. Today's day and age, each and every one of us is a textrovert. We're very comfortable putting things on text, and chat is right there. So why not use it? Why ask people to scan QR codes, go to their phones, and then start looking at what's happening in the news, TikTok, and everything in between, right?
Textrovert. I just want you should that's a great term. Is that yours? A textrovert?
I can't recall where I might have borrowed it somewhere, but we've been using it. You think we should use it more? Does it strike
I love
a chord?
it.
Yeah.
It's really reflective of. You're right. People are much more comfortable in text. I just think that's a great term.
Okay, look out for a headline change next week on the website. Yes. and therefore the best way to kind of change things, unmute the audience, is to make the chat stream alive, and therefore the name, so to speak, right? So make the chat stream alive. So with those words, let's actually make the chat stream alive in this session. So once you sign up for your free account and you go in, you're going to be at app.streamalive.com. It's going to take you into our web application. Heads up, usually when I demo StreamAlive, I pick one of 4 form factors where we exist, which is as a web application inside of PowerPoint, embedded inside other places like, say, a Gamma presentation, which is not yet publicly. I think we just announced a beta version of that. And as a Zoom application, right? I usually do one of these, but today I thought I'll do all of them, and actually just ended up with a quiz, and I promise to keep it fast. So just tell me if you're running out of time or you need to cut something short or stuff. I'm inside my dashboard right now, and the easiest way to get started is to actually go to this interaction library, pick an interaction, and get started, right? So for example, there are different categories of interactions. And all of these interactions, the only thing common to all of them is that they are powered by chat. So you could have a spinning wheel that recognizes who participated in the chat and picks their names automatically. Icebreakers like, maps, classic question, where are you joining from? How's the weather? What's the time? Polls that have predetermined options, quizzes. And oh, by the way, fun fact, we recently launched quizzes. So think Kahoot style quizzes, except you don't need to participate in your phone. You participate through the Zoom chat, and no pressure. I've got a Zoom related quiz ready for us to go through as well. So we'll do that as well. Word polls that elicit single word answers or 1 or 2 words, sentence polls that elicit longer answers, and so on, right? If I wanted to run magic maps, which is one of our features, all I could do, I just run it right now off the web application, ask a question like, where are you joining from? A lot of things I can configure. Should I allow people to put multiple responses? Do I start that map with the world or some other continent? Do I want sound on, little dings when people put their places? Do I want to change the theme to something different with pizza in the background? Or do I like my 3D theme in the back? Or 3D theme is, I think, the first time I'm showing it publicly. The moving video themes in the back, we just launched it about a week ago. So that's new as well. And at this point, all that's left to do is to say, go, right? So it's creating a simulation of a session. It's pretending that people are typing in the chat and that chat is rendering on my map right now in real time. Let's make it actually real. I can connect to Zoom, Teams, other platforms. I could connect to streaming platforms. I could do a hybrid session where some people are in person and some people are on Zoom. It's up to you as to where you want to run it. And today we're going to run it on Zoom. All I need to do is give the URL. And David, I assume this is your meeting. If you see my bot knocking on the thing, you might not. It might just join because I've authorized my account. But if you do, please do let it in. I promise it.
Can I ask a question while you're doing this?
Yes, go ahead.
And please forgive me if this is a change from a long time ago, because in honesty, I haven't used it in a while. But I seem to remember that the interaction earlier on, an interaction had to belong. You couldn't just launch an interaction by itself. That it had to be part of. Am I wrong about that? Is that a change, or did I just misunderstand?
Right. It is exactly like it used to be exactly like that.
Oh, okay.
And just authorize my thing.
Because this is so much nicer to just choose an interaction and go.
And I think we had a conversation once, David, if I recall, where you mentioned this, saying, "Hey, I just like to run an interaction. Why force me to do a presentation and all of that?" And I think we had a conversation around that as well. I'm just going to go my. Oops, I'm just going to authorize it again because I think I authorized a different one. This is a part about things breaking. Authorized. So yes, a short answer to your question, David, is absolutely. You could just run an ad hoc interaction right now, and let's give it one more shot. Is there a different setting for your meeting or something, David, which doesn't allow people to?
I don't know. I'm also trying to get in, and I'm wondering what. Oh, do we have a setting set, guys, that wouldn't allow Streamalive in?
Not to my knowledge, David.
Don't we have
If anything, it should pop in as a new user, correct, Lux?
It should pop in as a new user, or as me. Yeah, we are also in the process of implementing.
Right now, nobody's in the waiting room currently.
No. But what I'm saying is, I wonder if we have a setting in the background. Sorry, hold on a second. I'm trying to log in so I can check.
I'm glad I'm in the right room in terms of Zoom capabilities.
What's going on here? Okay.
I think maybe the problem could be that you called your product Stream Alive, and I think under the rules of this group, it has to be Stream Alive.
So yes.
I recall hearing that in the intro song. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
We shall change it.
I'm just checking my our settings. So we have general.
Are we limiting it to only one person per account, David? Could that be the issue?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Security. No. Only authenticated meeting participants and webinar attendees can join meetings and webinars. I wonder if that's the problem.
Lux, do you need that for your
webinar?
No, but it says for meetings also. Only authenticated meeting, because that's the pop-up that you got, Lux, and that I got also, that we weren't authenticated.
Let me try joining as a guest bot, which is not going to be authenticated, but let's see if that helps, because what I'll do is deauthorize my account over here. Let's go back, and you should have it joining just as a. They haven't implemented OBF and ZK yet, so it should be okay.
Nothing yet from our end.
No, it needs to be authorized. So our end, I mean, we've implemented CAK, so we have to authorize Zoom here first. This is interesting. I've never seen this before.
All right, let's see if that connects now. Yeah, so that error, see what does the error say?
It hasn't been authorized with your Zoom account.
Right. So I think someone jump in here and correct me if you think I'm wrong. This meeting we set up only, let me bring this up so everyone can see. Sorry.
Shall I stop share? Yeah.
Say again?
I'm just stopping my share so you could pull it up.
Yeah. So we have this checked here, and I'm wondering if this is the problem. Only authenticated meeting participants can join meetings and webinars. Someone smart.
That may be part of it, because what that setting means is you have to be signed in to the Zoom, we used to call it client, the desktop app as a user. That's what that blue button means. The other thing may be, David, there's at the meeting level itself is a setting that says allow users to join from multiple devices. It's a yes, no. And what that looks at is the email address. So if you have David at Tektora already in the room, then the next device that's signed in or identifies itself as David at Tektora would not be let in, because the setting says no, only one user at a time. So that may be the other place that.
I don't think we have that set, but I could be wrong. Now, if I turn this off, that's not actually going to change anything for this meeting, will it?
I don't think so. I think you'd have to end the meeting and start the meeting again.
And Jason, where is that setting you mentioned? Because it is indeed trying to join the same meeting with the same ID. That's exactly what.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll bomb out. And David, are you still running these in a personal meeting room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that throws another dimension onto it, and that one I'm not as familiar with because I don't do public meetings in my personal meeting room. But if you're using meetings for public meetings, as you set up the session, it's in your options, and within the session, you can change it. Let me find that place because I usually don't change it while I'm in a meeting. But it's as you set up a meeting, it's in your options to. Here we go. Everyone goes into the meeting room. Require authentication to sign in. Mute participants upon entry. I'm looking at what David's putting up on the screen.
So I'm in the meeting now on 2 devices, so that security setting isn't enabled.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
a Zoom. Frank and I just tested that in the background.
Let me end this meeting. A Zoom authenticated user is someone who has a Zoom account. Doesn't have to be a paid account, but you have to have a Zoom account. So the account you're logging in with, does it have a Zoom account?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Huh.
I mean,
and David, FYI, we're gallery in YouTube right now.
Yeah, sorry. Man alive. What could this be?
This is good fun troubleshooting. Yes.
No, it is. It is good. I mean, it's because look, if it's going to happen to us, it's going to happen to someone else.
Absolutely.
I mean, the difference is that we click every button back here, so I don't know that. I have a feeling that this might be it. But let's see what this learn more says. They host a strict meeting to signed in users only, and even further restricted to Zoom users whose email addresses match a certain domain. Well, that I don't have set up for sure. Because I don't block anyone. I wonder.
I have an alternative system if you wish to try it, Lux. I have set up another meeting which I can then, using my tech, I can then stream into this meeting.
Wait, do me a favor. Let's try one more time, because I just turned on only authenticated users can join meetings from web client. Well, no, that shouldn't help. We want that off. Yeah, I could also, but see, if we bring it in through your other Zoom meeting, then we can't participate in the chat. That's the problem. The whole beauty of this is that we have to all be in the meeting.
Yeah, but fortunately, it does have automated demo data in it, so he'll still be able to show off all the features. But maybe we'll then get to the bottom of it as we go.
Again, David, it would be a good test for Lux to connect to John, because then John has different tweaks than you do on the current live meeting.
Okay. We can certainly try that. Sure.
This is fun. Yeah, I'm just checking our live sessions right now, and there was someone who ran a Zoom session about 15 minutes ago. So I'm just checking there's something. It could be at our end because we made some pushes now for ZAK, but it looks like it's working fine because someone just ran a session. We could give that a shot. So, John, what's the best way to do this?
I've put it into chat. I put the meeting number and the password in the chat if you want to come into that. And I could give you a bit of technical background advice or information for everybody about this whole experience. The reason we are having to have Lux bring a bot into the meeting is that natively by Zoom, you can't see the chat. But if you create a bot can come into a meeting and can then see the chat. And obviously then it can deal with interactions to the chat and display information. So that's why we're bringing in an extra app to the meeting.
And now this is new, what it's asking me to do now.
Question for the host. Is registration for this meeting enabled?
There is no registration, no.
Okay. Because I know that causes an issue with the bot joining.
Because it's a PMI.
John, did you say you put a link in the chat, or?
He put just the number in the chat.
I put the numbers in the chat.
Let's see what happens now. Let's show it. Yeah, look at that. Streamlive couldn't join your meeting because it hasn't been authorized with your Zoom account. Follow these instructions to set up the authorization.
Like, so you in dev mode?
Mine,
can I ask a question?
Please.
I've never used this, so it might be a stupid question. Does he have to be a member of your account? That's kind of what the message sounds like a little bit. But
no.
If he's in dev mode, he can only run it on his own account. That might be the issue.
What's dev mode for what?
Dev mode is when we're creating apps, we create it in dev mode. It works locally for us, and then you publish it on the internet.
Oh, but you're
the
not
marketplace.
asking me. You're asking Lux.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not in dev mode now.
Sessions. Add a new session. All right, let's do it this way. Sessions. We're going to add a session, add Zoom. See, this is exactly what we did though. Now post a Zoom chat. Okay. Add session. Sure. See if this will connect now. Oh, same thing.
Same thing.
There's got to be a setting that we have somewhere in this call. I mean, that's got to be what's going on here.
This is fantastic knowledge for us.
Hey,
I've never seen this before. Is there? There's authentication. It should work through authentication. That should not be an issue. There's no registration.
Embed passcode. That's correct. I'm going to turn this off. I don't think that'll make it access restricted. Why would my access be restricted? Well, this is kind of strange.
That's why I also tried through the app as opposed to kind of going outside, and I kind of got the same thing.
Yeah, and I tried with the PowerPoint add-in as well, and it's giving the same thing. So, I mean, it could be either something with the meeting or something with the app right now, but I'm hoping it's not the app since someone else is running a live session on Zoom now.
Why I feel like there's something going on with Zoom. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So now let's go to our settings. Meeting. All right, I'm just gonna turn stuff off and see if that makes a difference. I don't think it will because we're in the meeting, but you can visit personal meeting room to change your personal meeting settings. Okay. I don't see anything else that would be a problem.
Just double check, David, for the back end. When it comes to Zoom, the status page is not showing any outages at this point from Zoom.
It's not, no.
No.
Well, we're on a call, so I imagine it's okay.
Right, but even if it was a minute
Right.
subservice, they would be reporting it, right?
Right.
Mike, under host tools, there might be some of those settings that are relevant to this session that we're in.
Yeah, I'll take a look while David's doing that.
Do you want me to pass host to you?
Or I'm sorry, I assumed that Mike had host. Whoever
No,
the host
I'll pass
is.
it. I'll pass it over to Mike. Mike, I'm sending it to
No,
you.
I got co-host. I'm fine.
Oh, you can
should be
see
able
it?
to see
Okay.
things. I got host tools. Yeah.
I
Jason,
didn't know
what did you want me to
co-hosts
look
have
for?
host tools. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Jason, what did you want me to look for?
I don't know where it's under because I obviously don't see the same thing that you see.
Yeah.
But something along the lines of controlling participants coming in, authentication, multiple devices, like any of those type of settings that can be adjusted for this session that we're in, because that's where Lux is trying to join into.
Right.
Not in
Right.
future sessions that David is adjusting in his settings screen on the web portal.
Right. Yeah. Right now, the allow all participants are chat is turned on, rename themselves, unmute themselves, start video, request host to start AI companion, and transcribe in my notes. That's the participant section. And I'll go into advanced now. So I guess, here we go. Who can start a collaboration? All participants. Go ahead, John, sorry.
I've got Streamer Live running in guest mode, not in my account, just running my Google ID, so it's in the free version. And I've got that launched inside my account here on my laptop.
In a separate meeting.
So it's not completely dead. You can get in, so it's not completely dead, Lux. It's just something setting that's blocking it.
So you were able to make it join that Zoom meeting there, right, John?
It's in the list of participants.
Got it.
Yeah.
So do you want to come into that meeting and just see if you can control everything from there?
Yeah, so I would leave this and join that one right now, right?
Yeah, and you can always come back.
Do you mind just giving me the URL of the meeting, John?
I can't cut and paste across 2 foot there.
Yeah. And the only setting,
Okay,
Jason,
sorry,
that I see in here while Lux and John are doing their testing is that who can start a collaboration when someone else already started a collaboration is
Now
host
that
only.
setting would only matter if Lux were using the Zoom app Streamalive or did I say that correctly? One of the Zoom apps that's available in session, if you install Streamalive, that's where that setting changes, is that collaboration switch. But if Lux is using a web browser to join the meeting as a participant, then that collaboration switch, I don't think affects it.
Okay, that's the only thing right now that says host only right now at my end.
And I don't know, I'm flying blind here, Mike, but on the participants panel, you have the invite button, the mute button, and then there was, I don't know if there still is, the 3 dots, more options. And in there were things like lock meeting, allow users to join from multiple devices. It used to be in there. I don't know if that applies here.
Yeah, again, as you know, over the last 675, they've changed everything now where it's in
Here, I can
it's a pop out now.
Everything moves
I'll
around.
show people what we see now. So what he's talking about is over here in the participants panel. Oops, let me get this. Now we've got more, and instead of having all those options here, it directs you to host tools for participants. Then you get this pop out. And right now everything is turned on except to record to computer. Everything is available.
So, yeah, the only thing, David, that I saw was go into advanced there.
Yeah.
And then go to apps.
Yeah, but we're not even using an app.
Right. Well, in theory, Lux is an app.
No,
no,
I think this. No, this is talking about Zoom apps.
So this one is just the web browser, not as an app, joining as a bot. And I just, John, I just actually texted my co-founders and asked them to try a Zoom session at their end, and it's working for both of them. They're able to join their Zoom meeting. So I suspect it's something to do with the meeting settings. So we have a detective game here today.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to. I mean, the challenge that we have here is that even if we're not going to really be able to find the culprit, because we'd have to restart the meeting in order to, if it's a back end setting. So let's do this. Let's stop trying to figure out why I broke Stream Alive and instead figure out a way for you to show Stream Alive. One thing we could do is I could give you, I could start another meeting and I could share that right here in this meeting. I'm not sure if that's the same thing you were going to do, Jason, but I can share it natively right here in this meeting. And
my thought is to try the Zoom app, the Stream Alive Zoom app, and see if you can collaborate that way. One of the questions that I have for Lux too is
I tried
what are
it
the
and it didn't
differences?
work.
I tried it too. Yeah, Ray tried it and then I tried it too, and no, it doesn't work.
And it worked when I popped out into my own meeting, which was not a PMI and did not have authentication required. So I suspect one of those.
all right, so
we're fairly sure that it's a setting in this meeting, which may or may not be related to PMI, but it's a setting related to this meeting session.
Right. So I'm gonna bear with me for a second here. Lux, I just sent you in the chat a link. Now I just need to make sure that I don't get like doubled audio and stuff. So hang tight for a second here. I'm gonna actually just disconnect audio over here altogether. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So that should be good now. So, and let me move this. So Lux, if you join this other meeting.
Let me do that. Yeah. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, please. Sure. Then right. Okay, there it is. Great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a scene and I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to do that. That didn't work at all. Lux, go ahead and turn your camera on if that's okay. Is your camera on, Lux, in that other meeting? Oh, wait a second. No, I can, yeah. Oh, did he leave? Wait, did Lux leave our meeting?
He did.
Oh, so I can't hear him. Okay, that's the problem. So, because I have too many Zoom windows. I'm so confused. All right, there we go. So now you all should be able to see Lux.
Yeah, we see him, David. Yep.
You should be able to hear him, I think, too. Lux, say something. No, maybe not.
He hasn't said anything yet. No, there we go. Yeah, nothing.
So you can't hear him and he can't hear you either.
Okay, wait a second. Yeah. So Lux, are you in the test kitchen meeting? Lux, are you in the test kitchen meeting?
He said no.
You're just in mine. Okay. Guys in the
We're,
test kitchen.
we're reading lips, Lux.
Yeah, hold on a second. Test kitchen, can you hear me?
We got you,
We
David.
hear you, Dave.
You can.
You're on tap, kitchen.
And can you hear Lux at all?
No.
Okay, so his audio isn't coming through. So give me 1 second. I can fix that. All right, Lux, say something.
Hey, can you hear me all right? Is
Yes.
this clear?
All right. Now they can hear and see you. So you should be able to go ahead and do your thing now.
Oh, perfect. But I won't have participation except
Well, I'll
you're not in this
participate.
session either, right?
I'll participate.
You'll participate. Thank you. Perfect. Shall we go ahead?
Please.
All right, let's do it. So I'm going to share my screen here. And this is kind of the screen where we were stuck in that previous meeting. David, can you confirm that the map is doing?
Wait a second. Hold on. I didn't know you were going to do a screen share. I forgot. Now I just have to set that up real quick. Give me 1 second.
No worries.
I'm coming. Let's do. Sorry, everyone.
Hey, you said you wanted to break things, and we're doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. We're doing. Let's see. I need a camera, and I'm gonna change this to my friend Lux, and then let's just make that a little smaller. I'll fix that in a second. Don't worry about it. And then we're going to add another one and put a screen share in there. Boom. And this is going to be his screen share. Okay. And let me quickly make this. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. All right. Lux, I've almost got you set to go. Just going to resize things a little bit. Yeah, you should be good to go, I think.
Super. And is what it says in David Paskin, what is being streamed?
Right. There, everyone is seeing exactly what you can see. Yep.
Right. I have no clue how you're doing what you're doing, but I'll just go with it. Yes. All right. So this is the screen we were trying to get to. Maybe I'll just get here again. Let's go back here since I'm going to exit, cancel, and go back to the interaction library. We were trying to kick off one of the maps, and I'm just going to run that map again. I want to ask people, which city are you joining from today? We hit the go button. Say we want to run this on Zoom. Different URL this time, your personal meeting link, David, and let's go ahead. You should have Lux Stream Alive be bot. Don't ask me why I call it that, but that should join the meeting in a second. If you have a waiting room, please do allow it, David. And there we are. Perfect. So at this point, it is ready to visualize the chat. I could go full screen over here. David, you got to help me here by participating in the chat. It's just you and me, I gather, participating in this one.
Yep.
Right.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So can you type where you're joining from? Just type the city, country. And you were asking, as we were trying to figure earlier, saying, oh, so you don't need a presentation anymore. No, you could run a presentation, or you could just run an ad hoc interaction. So I'm looking out for your message in the chat, David. There it is. Just something. And the moment you typed, already typed Florida, right? The moment
Did
you
I
did
type
that,
something in the chat? I have too many windows open. I'm not sure where I'm chatting anymore.
Yes, you did. So I'm going to type here as well. I'm going to type where I'm joining from. So I'm going to type Basking Ridge here in Jersey. And the moment I type that, a little dot comes up on my screen showing Basking Ridge over here, right? I can make the map look different. I can make it a globe. I can click on a location so I can pick up the temperature if I'm in, and the time and the weather, and literally fly around the world as it would have been a lot of fun if you had everybody in the room participating, but you get the gist, right? People typing in the chat, and that gets visualized over here in real time. And David, you just typed Israel, and there we are, 10:53 in the evening, 57 Fahrenheit. What do you do in Israel? Is it Fahrenheit or centigrade?
They do Celsius.
It is Celsius. Okay, it's 14 Celsius. pictures from there, and classic icebreaker, right? Where are you joining from, what are you doing, and all of those things. And Stream Alive works beautifully for this. So if you just wanted to run one single interaction, you would just go to the interaction library. And David, I think we had a conversation on this long back when we met up, and you said, can we avoid the presentations, just run the interaction? And at that time, no, you couldn't, but now you can. Lots of interactions. We could create a presentation now with a basket of 3 or 4 interactions and then see how they work across different places. Sounds good?
David, if you want more of the people or more of our panelists to join, just put the meeting information in chat, and some have offered to join.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a great idea. Hold on a second. Lux, hold on one second. Mike just had a really fantastic idea. I'm gonna put. Now I have to open that chat. Hold on. No idea what chat I'm on.
Any chat.
Oh goodness. Wait. Now I've just completely lost everything. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Hold on, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the chat.
That's all right, David.
Here we go.
You're good.
All right, chat.
And of course, if anybody has any questions for Lux as he goes through this from YouTube, let us know in chat, because I will relay it through David to Lux so that he knows.
Oh wait, Lux can't hear us? Oh,
No,
Lux can't hear. Lux,
I don't know if
can you hear the other meeting? You should be able to hear. Oh no, you can't.
I can hear only you, David.
Oh, wait a second. I think I can fix that. I don't really know how to, but I think I can fix that.
Do the chat thing first, so the rest of us can join.
Yeah, I just put it in. I think I just put it in.
Yes, and of course we will not be putting that on YouTube for obvious reasons, but we will have some of our panelists join to add a little more data for Lux to actually have a few more people that he wanted to do in our normal show today. So, and what I will do, Mr. Paskin, is when I have any questions, until you get the audio organized, I will just put it in our chat so you can relay it to Lux so he can answer.
Okay. Stephen Libman is asking, can you edit the question?
Oh yes, absolutely. You can. You can edit the question. So I could have changed it to whatever I wanted over here. So running this question, I could type. It just gives you a prompt of 3 questions to get you started, but I could type anything I want. Where would you rather be?
Where would you rather be?
And I could run it with this question. I could run it with anything. David, forgive this if it's not a relevant question, but if everybody in the other room were to join this room, like you're streaming me right now, wouldn't we be able to stream everyone?
Yeah, a couple of people are joining. John Drinkwater just joined, so he's
beautiful.
here. Peter Sargent is here. Yeah, so you have a couple of people that are joining so they can participate in the chat, and they are right now.
Thank you. Thank you for jumping in.
And I'm trying to get the audio working over here for you, but we can all still hear you, so you're good to go.
Oh, beautiful. So let's run the map again with where would you rather be, and hit go. Join the Zoom session again. Start the URL. Joins the meeting. Hopefully there's no limit on the number of times I join and drop off, because we're going to do this a few times. There we are. John, do you mind typing the answer again? And I saw a few response. Perfect, yes, because I just started the interaction. Beautiful. I can change the way I want to show it. It can look like comic, blueprint, different looks and feels. My favorite is still the globe. Turin. Yeah, Peter's in Ottawa. And, so you can do, of course, spend time navigating, talking about the time and weather as you wait for people to file into the room. You might want to unmute one person and ask them to speak about where they're joining. And you could also run what we call secondary interactions. So I could create things from responses, right? I could summarize responses. There isn't much to summarize here with 5 locations. I could create a picture with those locations. So I could just have some fun. I have no clue what's going to come up. But if I say create a picture with all the locations that people have typed in the chat so far, this is basically taking the responses to this particular question and creating this Frankenstein place that includes London and Canada and someplace in Europe. I'm not sure which one, but it basically creates something from the responses. Or I could also say, spin a wheel with everybody who's participated in the chat so far. So Peter and John have participated in the chat. Streamer Live recognizes that they've participated in the chat. And sharing sound, just pull that up again. Let me run that again with sound. Spin a wheel, have some fun, confetti, pick someone, ask them to talk more about open-ended question, what kind of answer they gave. So just run a whole bunch of things after people respond as well. And the idea is so many people approach presentations like stand-up comedians, everything scripted right down to the minute. And they think it's nice to get a bit of improvisation, a bit of ad hoc things into it as well. What I'm going to do now, if it's okay, is actually disconnect from the session again. We'll create 3 or 4 interactions. I could do them right here, just go ad hoc and create something new, but I do want to show you how, if you wanted to create all your interactions beforehand and pull that in, how that's going to work. And then we'll look at how we do it through the Zoom app and other places. So I could create a new interaction here right away if I wanted, but instead I'm going to disconnect, create a new presentation, and then run it from that. Right? Let's run one before I have to jump out. Let's say,
hey, Lux,
this is my favorite.
Real quick, I just want to try something real quick. Can someone in the Zoom test kitchen meeting, could you just say something and Lux, tell me if you hear it?
Testing one, two, three.
Could you hear that,
I
Lux?
heard testing 1, 2, 3, yes.
Perfect. All right. So now you have audio from the test kitchen meeting.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. My favorite question, what's your go-to comfort food? David, John, Peter, please chime in. Again, this is a classic question that lends itself very, very well to visuals. So, something like this is just made for visualization. So if you were to take responses that people gave to something like this, want to have a bit of fun and say, hey, if all of us were sitting around the same dining table, I wonder what that's going to look like. And hopefully it kind of conjures up an image that captures all the food that we just said. And here we have a food with all that over there. So a lot of our philosophy
that is hysterical.
It's a lot of fun.
Is that just AI? That's fantastic.
I love these because it's AI that does not replace the human voice. It kind of augments it. It does things we could not do earlier and supplements responses. So you still have human voices coming in, but you're kind of lending credence to them through AI, right? There's a lot of other cool things with this, and for that I'm actually going to exit here. We'll come back here. We'll connect a few times. I'm going to go back to my Streamer Live dashboard and let's create a presentation because we'll create a quick presentation. We'll use it in a couple of places after that, right? So I go to my presentations. I can start a new presentation. I could create an entire presentation with AI where I ask, give a prompt, and it creates a whole bunch of, things around it. David, do you have a favorite topic? If you're running a hobby or something that you might run a live session on tomorrow.
Oh, playing guitar.
Playing the guitar. Bass guitar, rhythm guitar, electric guitar, anything? Or
acoustic.
So pretending that you are running a session on playing acoustic guitar and you want some help coming up with interesting interactions that you can ask. So it says, why not ask people which city or country do you think has the best music scene? In one word, what emotion does playing the acoustic guitar evoke for you, right? What advanced finger style techniques do you find most challenging? And I could go with these, not go with these. It's just a starting point. Right now, I'm just going to select all the interactions, stream alive. It just creates one of every kind that we have on the menu. And think of it like a sampler. I'm going to add all of these into my presentation here, and I've got a 14 slide interactive presentation where if I had static slides, I could bring them in. So if I had a slide like this, I wanted to bring it in, I just have to import it, a PDF or something, or an image, and it comes in as a static slide. So I've got a presentation that allows me to listen to people and then talk and then listen to people and so on and so forth. I can change the look and feel. I can use one of my themes. I can edit themes right down to the color of each individual box that comes in, the color of the word clouds, the font and color, what kind of background it has in the back, and a whole bunch of things, right? Before I present, if I say, hey, I just want to see what this looks like, I want to just get ready to present, I just click on this and it runs a simulation for me. So we saw the map earlier. Let's skip through this. I have a static slide, nothing really to simulate over here. And let's say I go to the next one, I ask people, hey, in one word, what emotion does playing the acoustic guitar evoke for you? And these are not responses you're typing in the chat yet, but these are the responses you expect you might get for a question like this. So the AI is also simulating what a session would look like with responses that are relevant to the question you asked. So I actually get a sense of what my session will look like when people give answers like this, and it creates a word cloud. So I get a real feel for what it's going to look like. Right? So this, I think, was not there when you tried it last time as well, David, the AI simulation.
No, none of that was there. Can I ask a question? What do you
Please.
imagine people? I'm thinking about my workflow, and if I'm putting a slide deck together to present, I usually create it in Google Slides or in Keynote or something like that. Do you imagine people building slide decks in StreamAlive natively using that import function? Or like, I guess I'm wondering, do you expect people's slide decks to live in StreamAlive or to live somewhere else and then you just pop up the PDF into StreamAlive when needed?
David, that is a question of the year, because the biggest friction point we had with people using StreamAlive and an existing slide deck was exactly what you described. The friction behind, oh gosh, I need to import my deck into StreamAlive. That's a pain, right? Because I want my deck to live where it already lives. Plus, when you import it into StreamAlive, it loses animations. It loses. I mean, it's not going to be like it is in PowerPoint or somewhere else. So one of the things we spent almost 6 months building and launched last last month, and I think it's hugely transformative. I'm biased, of course, is our PowerPoint add-in. So what I'm going to do now is actually switch tracks, right? We created this presentation called Playing Acoustic Guitar.
You're assuming
right?
we use PowerPoint.
I am assuming you use PowerPoint, and I recall that David mentioned Keynote and Google Slides.
Yep.
Both very interestingly presentation platforms that don't allow embeds and HTML embeds inside. But Peter, which one do you use if you use a presentation software?
I use Keynote.
I love Keynote. I personally use it since I use a Mac. But Keynote does not have an app ecosystem, does not have add-ins, and does not allow HTML embeds. So we can't bring a StreamAlive object into Keynote like we do with PowerPoint.
No, it does have video embeds now.
Yeah, but the StreamAlive thing, which like you can embed it StreamAlive inside something like Gamma. You can embed StreamAlive inside PowerPoint, but it's not supported by Google Slides. You can embed inside Canva. We don't support that yet, but that's coming up soon. So PowerPoint, Gamma, and Canva. Those are the three that we're going to support. Google Slides and Keynote, unfortunately, there's no way around it because they don't allow it. They allow embeds of videos, yes, absolutely, but not an HTML object like what we need.
Lux, a question for you. We also use LibreOffice Impress. Is that possible? It is a fairly open standard PowerPoint equivalent.
Never used it, honestly. So not sure of the answer to that. If it supports HTML embeds, it should be possible to do it, because let me just show you one thing with Gamma, because that philosophy can apply anywhere, right? So let's say I want to pick up this question that David did, like in one word, what, let's take this one. In a few words, what advanced fingerstyle techniques do you find most challenging or rewarding, right? I'm going to right click here, copy this interaction link. And at this point, I'm just going to switch tracks. I'm going to go into a Gamma. Anyone uses Gamma here? Or I'm just going to use it to demonstrate how embeds can work in other platforms. So let's say I want to create a web page embed in here. And I could, it's different for different platforms, but in Gamma, you just enter the URL of an interaction. Will not load it through a proxy. And over here, I just say I want to embed it. So the big thing is it needs to support an embed, whatever platform it is. So if the platform you mentioned supports embeds, then it should be possible, because over here, what it's doing is embedding that Streamalive interaction in here with the entire preview and simulation. And like we did earlier with the web application, I could just connect this Gamma slide in this case onto Zoom, and then the chat would pipe into the Gamma slide. So anywhere where an embed is supported is a place where we could, in theory, bring Streamalive in. Does that help answer the question? I'll have to check if it's supported for the platform.
Yeah. Yeah, Lux, I was actually looking at the information and I will get back to you a little more about that, but it looks like there is some sort of HTML capability in Impress. So I'll let you know. Continue.
Oh, cool. Yes, please. Perfect. Would it make sense to switch tracks and look at how this is going to work inside something like PowerPoint? Or is PowerPoint something nobody uses over here? I could just show you how that works as well.
I mean, I personally, I'm a Keynote guy, but
Lux,
I
would
am
say go over it.
90% PowerPoint for my
All right.
presenters.
PowerPoint it is.
Yeah, I would say Lux go over it just because of its popularity.
Yep. So what I'm going to do here is I've got I just created a dummy presentation here. So please don't judge anything you see in terms of content on this presentation. Not a single word was written by me. It's a presentation. I thought it's perfect for this audience, how to produce a fantastic Zoom event. Again, don't judge any of the content here. I just want to show you how the PowerPoint add-in works, right? So suppose I wanted to, let's say I want to kick it off with an, hey, where's everybody joining from? I could simply insert a new slide. I need to, of course, first install the Streamalive add-in, which is as simple as going to, let's just do that here. You would just go to Microsoft App Source.
Lux question, does it matter if you do it this way through App Source or if you choose the hard add-in button within PowerPoint? Does it go to the same store or different stores?
It absolutely does. Goes to the same store, yes. The only reason I chose the App Store is because since I'd already installed it, I just wanted to show how it is. But yes, it goes to the same store. So both of them work. It would still execute us if you search for Streamalive over here. It would be the same thing as searching inside over there. It would pick it up and then you simply get it, add it. And after that, you've got it in your add-ins like this. But same behavior, yes.
Excellent. I know that was something that when it was in beta, they were pointing to 2 different stores.
Yep. It continues to sometimes baffle us on how that happens. Some facts beyond our control in terms of how Microsoft directs that, but right now it goes to the same place, yes. I would add that in over here. And at this point, I could, if I knew what interaction I wanted to run, like over here, I know that I want to ask people where they're joining from after my first slide, I could simply add this interaction in here into the slide, right? Alternatively, I could also pick up something that I previously created. So this is from the interaction library. I could go to my presentations And just about 10 minutes ago, we created a presentation for David called Playing Acoustic Guitar. And I could pick up an interaction from there because I already have those existing. So I could pick that, hey, which city or country do you think has the best music scene? Don't ask me why we are asking that question in the middle of a session on how to produce amazing Zoom events, but we'll run with it. And I simply add this slide into my PowerPoint over here. And this can now connect onto my Zoom like before. And we'll connect it in a second after we add a couple more interactions, right? Let's say I've got a couple of slides here on assembling your team. We're talking about audio and visual quality. And I say, oh gosh, at this point, I've been speaking for almost 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's high time I put an interaction in here. Again, I just insert a new slide, go back to the add-in, click on it. And maybe at this point, I don't want to add one of these acoustic guitar sessions over here. Questions over here. So instead, I ask StreamAlive to give me AI suggestions based on the last few slides. So what it's going to do is read these previous slides. There's one on audio visual quality, assembling your team, choosing the right format. It's going to read those slides and look into StreamAlive's library of interactions and then recommend a couple of interactions which it thinks might be an appropriate fit over here. So let's see what comes up. How would you rate your current audio and visual setup? Mine would have been a 1 last week, but thanks to the advice I got last week, it's improved a bit. What is the most important aspect of audio visual quality to you? Or what challenges have you faced with audio visual quality on Zoom? And I say, oh, that's a great question to ask people. And I simply add that question to my PowerPoint, right? I'm using a different theme on this, but if my default theme is different, that's why you see the clouds and things in the back. I've been messing around with my default themes. But if I were to ask this question, it's also simulating the responses right inside of PowerPoint saying, hey, this is what your slide is going to look like, with people giving answers like lag between video and audio, making communication difficult, and so on. At this point, if I wanted to actually link it into a live session, let's actually just run one more thing over here. Let's say I want to run one more interaction here, and let's put one here. And for this one, we're going to try something different. We are going to add a wheel, but we're going to make it a wheel that is it can be based on participation. It takes people's names from the chat if they participate. It can also be based on keywords. I mean, of course, there's also the vanilla option of type a bunch of names and spin those names, but that's boring, right? You can also make it based on keyword, and I can say anyone who types ZTK in the chat, when I run this interaction, their name should automatically show up inside the wheel. So I've got these 3 interactions here right now. And all I need to do is connect StreamAlive on any one of them. So if I were to connect it on this slide, for example, is that the correct one? Oops, sorry, I think. No, that is not the link for this meeting. Second, while I pull it up again.
Nope.
And yeah, back here, and here is the link for the meeting. It is now ready to connect with this meeting, and it just needs, you need to tell it, you can keep it all ready before your presentation. So you have a PowerPoint deck that has your talking slides and your listening slides all ready to go for a specific meeting. Could be a Zoom meeting today, could be in person tomorrow, could be hybrid the day after. But when you're ready and you say start reading responses, like before, the bot is going to join the meeting, read the chat, send it back. And David, if you don't mind admitting it, if it came back again.
Yep. Give me a moment. I just have to find it.
Too many
here
windows.
we go. I got it.
Perfect. Thank you. There we are, right? And then I just say start StreamAlive. And do you mind typing answers, please? John, Peter, David in the chat. Because this, I think, is the first time in 39 years that a PowerPoint slide is written by the audience in real time, right? For this one, not the ZTK one, this is just general answers that come in. So for this one, I'm just, hey, what challenges have you faced with audio visual quality? We have answers from people, and running 2 meetings at the same time. Absolutely, David, great answer. Right. Distance from the mic. Thank you, Peter. I corrected that for this session. I always had that as a problem. And I could get all these responses, and I could also, if you had a lot of responses around this, I could summarize people's responses. So Srimala is going to take all the responses and say, hey, this is a summary of what people said in their answers over here. Doesn't make sense for just 3 or 4 responses, but imagine 30 responses, and you need to summarize the room because I mean, think about it, right? When we run these sessions, usually we ask people very simple, raise your hands or say yes or no, or give me an emoji, or here is a poll, pick one of the 4 answers. Now you can ask them an open-ended question. They can respond like adults with fully formed sentences, and then you can summarize the entire room in real time to get a gist of what everybody is seeing, look at popular opinion, alternative voices, essentially have a conversation with 10, 100, 1,000 people in real time, even if they're all typing with free-form text. This is one of my favorite features because it transforms how you can have a one-to-many conversation, which was never possible before. And it's a great example, again, of AI transforming things in a beautiful way. This is the one where if you type ZTK in the chat, it should pick your name and put it in automatically. So if you can do that, please. Oops, sorry, I think I stopped it. I'm just going to reset it. Yeah, do you mind typing it again once more? Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, I stopped it by mistake, but it should come in now. So John, David, Peter, you type ZTK in the chat, your names show up over here. And again, like before, I can spin this, spins, and you're running an entire spinner wheel inside of PowerPoint powered by the Zoom chat. So Zoom chat writing into PowerPoint, either it's sending in the content itself. And yes, you did, John. I mean, I think the last time
this
we
is
did
rigged.
by this, you've been.
I'm just saying that's not right. John won that.
He seems to win every time he's there in the wheel. I don't know how he does it, but yes, he does. So yeah, it's either showing participant names or it's showing responses or it's showing a combination of both. And there's a whole bunch of things you can customize on each of those things. So you could customize things like, hey, do I want people's names to be there? Do I want sounds with it? Do I want a whoosh or a brick falling sound when the Tetris tiles clear up? Do I want to change the design in real time? Do I want it to be a different theme and all of those things? A whole bunch of things you can configure on the fly as well if you don't like the way things look or you want to change things. Of course, you can reset the entire thing. You could turn responses into images. You could summarize responses. You could create a wheel from anyone who's participated in a particular question. It's really up to people and each person has a different style. Some people like to improvise. Some people like to have everything pre-rehearsed. But it kind of accommodates all styles over here. And like David said, if you wanted to run a single interaction as well, that's possible too right now. I'm going to pause here because I think we covered a fair bit of ground. But if there are any questions or things you'd like me to show more than the other, happy to steer it in that direction.
Hey, Lux, I've got a quick question for you. Can you, when you're using that wheel, say you wanted to have 3 prizes, hypothetically, and how easy is it for us to remove a name of somebody that just won? Like, I think David wants to remove at least 1 name from that wheel right now.
Exactly. Thank you.
but it does make a point. It does make a point because I mean, kidding aside, right? Is there a way, like, do we see a list of all the names that win, and can we hit a little X, and that person's not eligible for the next spin? Is that as simple as that?
Yes, and I'll show it to you right now for this one. So, for example, if David's won this one, and we want to remove David's name from here, it's as simple as removing David's name here. And if I remove David's name and I spin it again, oops, it didn't remove it, but it's supposed to remove David's name and run it again with the other 2 names. There's also manual editing of.
How did you remove my name? What did you do?
There's a delete button next to it over here.
Okay.
It's for some reason it's not working inside the PowerPoint add-in right now, but if it were working as advertised, it should have removed your name right now, and then it would run this way. I think it's a problem with the wheel inside the PowerPoint add-in. Should be sorted out by next week, but you just delete the name off. How come David wins every time?
Yeah, rigged.
It's rigged again, yeah. But yeah, you just delete the name from here. So
when for those of us that are using Keynote and may not use PowerPoint, we have the other whatever version, not version, but way of doing this. We have the option of doing it like an overlay. It's of being transparent. Do we have the choice of sizing anything like an overlay would be sized?
You absolutely can. So over here, for example, with this, I'm just going to put a new interaction over here. If you're doing it in the PowerPoint thing here, and I added the add-in, right?
So I think
I could resize
if I can, Lux, and let me try and translate, Stephen, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
Am I understanding that what Stephen might like to do is take the an element from Stream Alive, bring that in as an overlay on top of his virtual camera? Are you thinking about integrating with Ecamm?
Yeah, it would be be great to be able to do that.
Mimo Live or any of those, yeah.
Right. So could, like, that spinning wheel, can we somehow grab that spinning wheel with a transparent background and overlay it on top, in a third-party software?
Absolutely, you can. So the way you would do something like that would be, first, I would perhaps choose chroma as my background here, so I can key out the green if I wanted to.
Okay.
And
so this is the same way we used to do with Keynote, is that you put everything on a green background and then you just key it out over an Ecamm. Yeah.
Right.
Correct. And then once you got it in a web thing, I would go to, like, for example, in this case, I would go to Ecamm, and I could incorporate it inside as a web widget, or I could share a window, or I could share my desktop and bring that in as an overlay onto my scene. Yes, absolutely. Or OBS or wherever. Yes.
And then obviously it'll function. It'll function like any other overlay. We can size it or do it, crop it, or whatever we want to do with that.
Correct.
It's really cool. Yeah. And I know also you won't be able to demo every interaction, but do you have an interaction by any chance that is some form of counter from the point of view of, let's say I say okay, if you agree with this, say yes, right? And then I get like a bunch of check marks or something like that. Is there anything that can do like a +1 type of counter? Or, you know what I'm saying? David, you may have to translate again.
Is that like simple voting?
Would that be like
Stephen?
a poll, or?
Yeah, like a poll?
Well, no. Like, you know how Felipe has for example, has little silhouettes that he has little heads that pop. I imagine the emoji could be whatever it is, but it's sort of like it would just run across the bottom of the screen or the side of the screen or wherever you would have it. It is like asking a poll, but you'd have the ability that it would show up in a certain way using a certain emoji or logo or any other graphic that you might want to use. Like, is there any customization to doing things like that?
Like flags on the side of a fighter.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
No, unfortunately, there isn't a customization here. It would just pick up profile images from Zoom and put them in here. For example, if I recall right, I'm just going to run a simulation here. Right. If you see the HY over here, it just pulls up the profile, the initials from the person's name and puts that in here, but it's not customizable. It would show this by default and say how many people chose which option, like a poll, but it would populate each of the bars of the poll with the people who chose that option if you wanted that. So that's in the poll result layout, I could say display profile pictures, don't display it. If I say display it, it's just going to show those display icons like this over here. And I can mouse over and say, okay, Nicole and Hugh and Yuna have chosen this option. So it's not customizable. If you want to put flags or something else, you couldn't. It would just take this default.
What would happen in a large meeting, though? Let's say 100 people.
It would compress. It wouldn't fill out the whole thing. After a certain point, it wouldn't be able to show everyone. It would kind of overlap over each other, and you'd have to do a very fine mouse over to pick up the names over there.
Frank, go ahead.
Hi. I haven't used your product before, so it might be a silly question. After the event is over, does Stream Alive keep results as data, and can you export them? So if I have polls or something and I ask questions and I want to capture the results, can I export a CSV or some other sort of report of what happened during the event?
You absolutely can. So I can share this publicly because it's an event that I did and I have permission to share it. But this is an event that, oops, not this one. Where is it? Let me just open a new tab here. This one I had it open. I'm just going to pull up the stats for an event that I had a little while back. Let's pull this one up. Yep. So this is an event that I ran a few months ago, and I could tell you exactly how it. This is what it shows up post session in the analytics tab. So again, you would simply too many tabs open. You would go onto your Streamalive dashboard. You would click on your reports, and you would pick the session for which you want reports. This one is buried deep down there, so that's why I opened it directly. And it would give you an overview, how many people participated, what is your peak comments, how the chat went over time. The colored bars are when I ran Streamalive interactions, and that's when you see this pattern of people participating because they see that their responses actually matter. I could get a replay of the results from the session, what I ran, what people did, what they answered, and so on. I can get a whole bunch of shareable images. I could download all of these as a zip file. It gives me a spreadsheet as well, which has a lot of the data. And I could also create a PDF, which kind of contains a lot of these slides and the images into one big PDF. I could look at questions that people had asked. I could see who participated. I could look at links that people shared. So all of these are captured in a report after, John. Sorry, Frank.
That's an amazing amount of data. That's fantastic.
Yeah, but I think the key, and I would agree with Frank, is the CSV so you can do post analytics.
Yes, so there is a spreadsheet right now. We will be giving, I think in about 3 weeks time, there'll be a CSV that gives you a whole bunch of things, and then you could do your own analytics or run Claude and Excel to run something on that if you wanted, but we'd give a raw CSV
Well,
there.
I mean,
the data is there. We don't give a pure CSV right now.
Because we do, I mean, quarterly I run a session where, but we always ask the same questions, and we want to see if we're getting better responses or not, or things are sinking in, let's put it this way, over time.
Yep. We will have a CSV very, very soon on this.
Do you offer any disclaimers? Like Zoom's native polling, usually there's a pop-up that tells people that there's a poll, whether it's anonymous or not anonymous, and you can opt in or out. Do you have any kind of features to protect people's privacy?
Not at our end, but we do have, for example, a couple of our users. We have one user I've interacted with who uses us in sessions related to mental health. And for obvious reasons, in that session, they especially want to enforce and make sure people's responses are not are private. But it is a session where they do want their responses to come in, but not know who put what response. So what they simply do over there is change the chat settings on Zoom to participants can share only with host and panelists.
Yeah.
So but the host and panelists do know who typed what. So it's not strictly anonymous because the host and panelists do. And in the Streamalive side of the house, in their settings, they say don't show the username for the particular interaction. So you get to see the responses that people gave. But let me just pull one sample interaction over here.
How open are you to feature requests?
Yeah.
I mean, anonymizing data is a very big deal. So, I might want to participate in a poll, but I might want to keep my identity anonymous. Zoom has built-in tools for that. I'm just wondering if there's something you guys could do on your side.
Well, and Frank, from my perspective, for what I do, I'm dealing with a bunch of under 18-year-olds, and in the U.S., COPA kicks in at that
Sure,
point.
we have similar laws here too.
Yeah, I know. So, if I'm dealing with underage, I gotta anonymize the data.
We haven't figured an easy way to do that, given the fact that it's all chat-based, and you have to send it to Streamalive, so you could do the host and panelist thing, but host and panelists do see the data, but and there's I can't think of any way around that for the way we are structured since it's chat based, but very, very open to suggestions on that. I mean, Zoom's thing is an overlay, and the overlay is working independent of chat and identity. So you can run it anonymized over there for the poll.
Yeah.
But for our kind of format, at least we haven't figured out a way yet.
So I see a question from Tony, Mike. Would this work with OBS? And it would be the same process, right? You do the green screen and then
Absolutely.
bring it in that way.
Correct. Exactly the same with OBS as well. Yes. We do have quite a few users using us on OBS that way. And again, they're using it as a layer, putting it inside a scene and chroma keying out the green. Especially the globe is a big favorite for a lot of people. They put the globe thing in the beginning, they key out everything else. So you have a floating ball on their scene and it's responding and they're moving that around and having a lot of fun for the first 5 minutes. So that's a common way of doing it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Frank.
Another silly question. There are products such as Kahoot and Poll Everywhere where you don't necessarily have to integrate it into Zoom. You can have a second screen sort of situation where you put a QR code or a link in the chat or on screen, and people can just join from their phone or their mobile device outside of the Zoom session. Is that possible with your product to join on a second screen and not necessarily in the actual video conference?
You could join from a second screen. So in that case, what you do is if I'm running this playing acoustic guitar session on it's kind of what we call in-person sessions.
Yeah, imagine an auditorium with 400 people and you have a data projector and you display on the screen what's your favorite ice cream, and people could pull their phones out and answer the quiz question even though they're not in Zoom necessarily or some other thing like that.
Yes, except it's going to be a chat-based interface over there as well. So the other thing there is, we said, why not, chat is a unifier. So you have chat in a virtual session. Why not have a chat in a physical room as well, where people are connected through the chat for that session? So the way that would work, there's a question from Frank, right? I'm assuming from the voice.
Yeah, that was Frank.
That's Frank, yes. So I would run that as an in-person session, and I simply say I want to run Streamer Live like we did earlier, except there's no bot joining a meeting. And like Kahoot and all the other platforms, for this case, there is a QR code. You could also do a hybrid. Some people are on Zoom, some people are on the QR code. You could run both concurrently. And if you were to scan this code, you'd be in a chat, which looks like WhatsApp, and you would participate in that chat on your phone. So it's designed.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
But for a quiz, one of the things I found with, I'm a big fan of Kahoot. If I'd run a Kahoot over here and then let's say DP won the Kahoot thing over there, I have no way of knowing that DP who won the Kahoot session is David Paskin, who has gone as DP inside the Kahoot. So it's two parallel sessions, plus you're sending people away to their phone. So one feature we launched very recently was our quiz feature. Can I show you that very quickly?
Please do. By the way, I just logged in. I scanned the QR code. That chat thing is seamless. It just works.
Thank you. I stopped that session though. But if you want, I can go back in and you can test how.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a really nice interface, easy. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, if I wanted to go back and restart that session, these are all the sessions I've been running. Now it says, hey, this is the session you just did at 4:36 p.m. And I click on present, it's going to take me back to that session that I just disconnected from. And if you were to type in the chat, that would show up on my screens at that point. So I'm going to open a new presentation here. And just so you don't cheat, I'm going to pause my sharing before I open this one here. So you can't see the answers. Give me a second here.
You can leave it open if you want, because I took the, I took it off the screen for everyone to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it out here and I am clicking. I've got a quiz over here. and I'm clicking on my Get Ready to Present button, and I'm clicking on Zoom again, and clicking on this link. And David, you can put it back on right now. So I will. Perfect. And what we're going to run right now is a Kahoot-like quiz over here. It's just 15 seconds for each question. So please keep your thing on the keyboard ready. So previous name for Zoom, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you just type in the chat, please? Right. So that is the answer. No one got it right. So we have, and I think only Peter, yeah, we got 2 people participating so far, but no one got it right. So it's 0 points so far. You can configure it. You want more points for people who answer faster, because since the answers are in the chat, one could wait and look at others' answers and wait for, how others have answered it and then choose to answer, but you lose points because you're answering slowly. I've configured it to show how many people answer each option. I could disable that, in which case you wouldn't know from my screen as to who's answering what. You could also make the chat only host and participants if you wanted to make it really like a full quiz where people can't see what others are answering. But I could go one question to the next. It's a tough one. Let's see who gets it right. "1987 it is."
Peter got it. Good job, Peter.
Rumor has it he was fed up with the 10-hour commute to meet his girlfriend, and built a video conferencing thing at that point to have a conversation, which is pretty fantastic if you consider that was in 1987. And since Peter got it, Peter's got some points. David doesn't so far, right? And I could run an entire quiz over here. Just
Got it.
right. Zoom events. I mean, this is the right cloud for Zoom events. I could keep going on with the questions, but this is an interesting one, actually.
And by the way, just for people watching, this is what we're seeing in the chat before each question, so we get a visual, a reminder of what to do.
Some good Zoom trivia over here. See what the leaderboard looks like right now. Okay, John just joined, but no points. Peter's in the lead again, and David's there. So you can have a lot of fun with this. You could also do stuff like, I could go to a particular question. Oh, it's running the question again. Let's pull one more question over here. Let's pull this one. This is when Eric was moving to the US.
I'm checking to
So
see if
8
anybody
is
on
the right
YouTube.
answer.
8
Lux-
times?
Yeah, Lux, I'm checking
Yeah,
to see if
I heard
anybody's
that on a
participating from
podcast we just
YouTube
did.
too.
Sorry, I missed that. Come again, please.
Yeah, no, I was just saying I'm trying to get the YouTube environment also answering the questions too, but they're very quiet with me today. YouTube, let's participate.
So we did an event earlier this week with Rick Altman of the Presentation Summit, and he ran 15 spinners. He had 15 quizzes, and at the end of each one, he would pick someone from the folks who answered the right question and just give away a copy of his book. So you could do a lot of things there. And speaking of YouTube, I could have run exactly everything that we're running over here on YouTube. And if I wanted to do that, I would just, unfortunately, you can't do 2 sessions at the same time right now. But if you wanted to connect onto YouTube it would be as simple as connecting Streamer Live onto your YouTube session, in which case the YouTube chat would be participating and the Zoom chat would be ignored. I could have connected this to the live stream. I could go on and on, but I'm going to pause here and ask any questions.
Yeah, I have a question. Are you familiar with Social Stream Ninja? What is that guy called, guys? Ninja Social. What's it called?
Social Stream Ninja. Yes.
So, yeah,
a beautiful product.
This feels Streamer Live feels like it's built on the same technology in the sense that it's able to grab the chat and manipulate. Am I correct about that?
In terms of the philosophy of taking things from the chat, yes, absolutely. And okay. Social Stream Ninja, which works as a Chrome extension, works that way. What we've done at Streamer Live is for Zoom, there's a native integration which makes it easier. Last time I loved one of the conversations we had last week on ZTK, where you remember we were talking about the almost like a pyramid, and you got the pro broadcasters and TV channels right on the top of that, and then you've got folks like you who are doing professional streams for clients. And Andy, the kind of technology he was sharing last week was for giving professional broadcast like stuff for folks there. What we're doing with Streamer Live is really going to the base of the pyramid, saying anyone who uses Zoom should be able to use Streamer Live if they can paste a URL and run it over there. With Social Stream Ninja and other things, you still need to run Zoom on your browser, run the chat over there, run a Chrome extension, which, by the way, we also run a Chrome extension for platforms like Twitch and Kick and LinkedIn and all of that, and then get that to pipe in the chat. So it's similar in the way of visualizing chat in real time, and that's a beautiful product too.
Amazing. Anyone else have questions, thoughts, insights? Lux, you've been so generous with your time, and especially given the fact that my meeting screwed things up at the beginning. I appreciate you taking so much time and showing us all of this.
Hey, my pleasure. And if you figure out what setting you needed to change in your meeting, please do share it with me, because that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that's important to know. Yeah. What how many users do you have?
I mean, altogether, people who tried Streamer Live at some point or the other is a little over 20,000.
Wow.
Active, I mean, some people try it, say it's not for them, and active is a few thousands.
That's great. Amazing. Do you want to pop back into the ZTK meeting maybe, and then if there are other questions?
Happy to. So I leave this and
so you're going to leave this and join the ZTK meeting. Yeah, I'll go ahead and end this meeting. Then we'll all be back in the same place. All right, we'll see you.
Thank you for doing this, though.
Yeah, of course.
This is a lot of juggling.
All right, we'll see you there. All righty then. Hi, everyone.
Look at you all in a wide shot.
Look, am I in a wide shot? Oh yeah, I am
wide-ish.
Sorry. Yeah. There we go. That's a little better. I'm gonna give this to you for just a moment, Mike, so I can make sure that my audio is fixed correctly.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Sounds fine, actually, right now.
Yeah, but I have to change something on this side.
And Lux is back. Test, Lux.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? All good?
Yep.
All good.
Beautiful.
Hey, thank you for helping figure that out. And yeah, I'm glad we managed to get a demo going.
I do think, by the way, I don't know how to figure out what that setting is, but boy, do I want to know what that is. I don't even know how to do that, but in any case,
it's definitely a dilemma, John or David. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And David, one thing I forgot to mention, which might be relevant for folks who want to I mean, it's probably not something people in this room will use, because, but for people who just want to use everything inside of Zoom, we have a Streamer Live app inside of the Zoom App Store as well, that you could just invoke, and it could pull any of the presentations you have and run it from there too. So way to get that would be simply going to the app marketplace. It's actually one of the leading AI apps right now over there, or you could just search for Streamer Live, install it, and once you do that, it's going to run inside of Zoom entirely for you. We'll be able to access all the presentations you created on your web client, or you can just run an ad hoc interaction right inside Zoom as well. You don't have to leave Zoom at all for that.
Cool. Cool.
And last point on that, that's the only one, I should have mentioned this earlier, that works with Zoom events. And Ray, I think we don't have Ray here, but Ray has tested a lot on events, and for events we approach it a little differently. And for Zoom events, it only works through the Stream Alive app inside of Zoom.
Are there any significant differences between the Stream Live app and what you're able to do with the browser integration?
It's effectively running the entire thing on browser, so it's very similar, because just to pull it up here, it's trying to see if it sharing settings. Oh, sorry, I'll change my sharing settings to include the Zoom windows. Yep, there it is. So if I were to share here, if you look at clicking on my more button here, and you click on apps, and you open up the app, it just opens in a separate window over here. And if you're sharing that window, you're going to do exactly what you did with Stream Alive. I'm not going to try and connect it here because it doesn't connect with this session. But then you can pull up, when the choose and present, when you get to that part, you can pull up your existing presentations, and like whatever happened in the web browser is going to happen over here.
Hey, quick question, and this came up before. So, because you asked for the URL when Jason was going to send it to you, is there a way to to join a meeting without the URL, to just type in the meeting ID and password separately?
You should be able to build that, not right now, because
Okay.
right now it's just a meeting, the URL, right. But you should be able to do
Great.
that. Yeah.
Great. Jason, go ahead.
Lux, I had a question. In Zoom events, did you say that the Stream Alive Zoom app works, but the PowerPoint add-in does not work within Zoom events?
Correct. The PowerPoint add-in requires a bot to, and even the web application requires a bot to join the meeting, as we struggled with this one but managed with the other one. A bot can't join a specific session inside of events. So, but our Stream Alive app in the Zoom app marketplace, we run a separate instance of that for Zoom events. And in fact, that one runs on a Linux server, because that configuration, in that configuration, Zoom actually passes on details on the event in the matter of every session that are there inside an event, and allows you to connect to a specific meeting in a session. And that's only possible through the app. So browser, the bot joining a specific thing is not possible for events, at least wasn't till about 2 months ago. And therefore we built this roundabout way of running it inside the app itself. So that's the only way to make it work there.
And a more nitty-gritty follow-up question to that is, does that affect Webinars Plus?
And Lux, just for everybody's sake on YouTube, can you stop sharing for now until we need you?
Oh, sorry, 1 second.
It's okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's good.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead, Lux.
Webinars Plus works with Webinars. I'll need to check and get back to you on that, Jason, on Webinars Plus, where it is right now, because we were migrating some things for Webinars. I'm not sure if it's fully working with the bot thing.
Right, and so the key the reason why I asked that question is because Webinars Plus uses some of the back end and technology within events. Right? There's meetings, there's webinars, there's Webinar Plus, then there's everything that events offers you. So that's why I asked that question.
Right. So webinars, yes, Webinars Plus for that reason would probably run from the when we had the Zoom sessions, as they called it, it used to work with that, which I believe was a derivative of events as well. If it's an extension of the same thing, it should, but haven't tested that, and we could do that, and I can get back to you.
Lux, just for your sake, Zoom Sessions has been rebranded Zoom Webinar Plus.
Oh, it's exactly the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. So then it should pick it up as a single, as an event with a single session, but I'll double check it.
Thank you.
Yeah. just with the rebranding that was done recently, that is the new name from Zoom Sessions to Zoom Webinar Plus. But
Good to
again,
know.
that now and this is a follow-up staying on the events and Webinar Plus, is that assuming that as long as I can bring in a Zoom app into Webinar Plus, I should be able to bring in a Streamalive app.
Correct.
Okay. So I don't know that official answer, and I would defer to my other community. Where's Ray and John? They left me. But yeah, so that's, I would have to double check that on my end to make sure that we can bring Zoom apps into Webinars Plus.
You can
is
into Zoom events, but Webinars Plus, I'm not sure. Yeah.
You can into Zoom events?
Yep, you can.
Okay. Then it should be capable then.
That's
Cool.
absolutely work. Yeah. Frank, did you want to jump in?
No, I just had kind of a silly question. What's the most concurrent users you've had in a session?
Maximum was on a YouTube live session run by an influencer called Airrack, who used the YouTube live, so not on Zoom, this is on YouTube live. He used the live comments to inflict punishments on people in a ping pong game. So there was a menu of options, like should the person be, should they be sprayed with water, or should something else happen? So they're being sprayed with water as they're playing ping pong. And for that one, the concurrent users were 55,000 on YouTube live.
So if I was having a large event with a great amount of people, would I need to give you advance notice that you were going to have like 10 or 20,000 people, or does your server scale automatically?
We would love advance notice if you're doing 10 or 20,000, because the average session is we do have people doing 1,500 or so, or a few hundreds, but the norm is sub 100. That's what most things are. So if you're doing something in the 1,000 or 2,000 range, you can just do it without asking us. But if you're doing 5,000-10,000, heads up would be good. We could just demarcate some capacity to make sure nothing breaks. Yeah. Yes, please.
Pretty please. Don't be breaking. We don't want no wreck. We want no wreck. That's right. We got your back and we don't want no wreck. That's right. Going back to our theme signal. So Jason, since you've got Lux's attention, any other Stream Alive questions for the man before he disappears on us?
I'll just say, Lux, thank you so much for the PowerPoint add-in. My typical setup is supporting multiple presenters within one session. And so I will run the deck on my end, on my host machine, and in Zoom, I will pass slide control over to whoever's currently on stage presenting. And before, I would have to switch back and forth on my sharing screen between Stream Alive and the PowerPoint presentation. And now with it embedded within the PowerPoint presentation, the audience never sees the screen flicker. It's just right there. It's all in their same interface. They have no idea how the magic happens. It makes it a lot easier for me on the back end because I'm not having to constantly switch share buttons around and all this kind of stuff. So I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Quick question, Jason. You use the beta version or have you used the production version for the add-in?
I use the production version right now on my production machine.
Okay.
And I did participate in the beta on my test machine, still playing around on those. But yeah, my live productions, I use the production version for stability.
Perfect. And if you still have that beta version, just delete that one because we've stopped supporting that one. Everything's moved into the production one, but this is working pretty well, and I'm glad it is. And please keep the feedback coming. I mean, everything's been built on great feedback like this, so please keep it coming.
Very, very cool. Any closing thoughts, Lux? We don't necessarily want to have you spend any more time with us if you don't, if you have to run, but if not, by all means, stay with us. And we're going into a bit of after hours here per se, not the true after hours, but again, we're still here live on YouTube. So if you do have any questions for any of our panelists now, and we'll give Lux a bit of a break so that he can rest his vocal cords for a few seconds. And we will throw it out there that if you have any questions, general questions for anybody that's on the panel right now, let me know in chat and I will relay it back to them, including Lux.
Thank you, Mike. I'm around for a few more minutes and then I've got to jump, unfortunately. But this was fantastic, and thank you. I'll put my email address in the chat, and I mean, you folks know how to reach me, but I'll put the email address as well. Any feedback, suggestions, things, and David, when you figure out what setting we needed to be aware of at our end, to make sure it works, please do share that as well. But thank you. This was fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed this and look forward to. We should have some other interesting announcements. I'll keep you folks posted, and hopefully come back when we have some more stuff as well. But thank you. This is a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
of course, Lux. And again, I just want to make sure that when I put in YouTube chat, it's streamalive.com.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. So everybody on YouTube, you now have the link to Lux's streamalive.com.
Thank you.
Of course. As I wait for any potential other questions before we wrap it up for this week, anyone else in chat want to talk about what's been happening this week? Jason, it's been a while for you. So, and of course, let's sure. Why not? Why did 25H2 want to do that to you today?
Oh, no.
Sure, why not? No.
No. I'll just warn everybody, all Windows users out there, if you haven't taken the 25H2, or let me rephrase that, if you haven't been forced to take the 25H2 setup, be fully aware that your settings change, your Windows settings change. So when you go to launch a Zoom meeting and you told Windows where your screens were and what information you're putting on one screen, and you expect that to magically happen because you're going into a Zoom meeting and you're getting ready to share content, yeah, surprise, none of that is remembered. You have to rebuild all of that.
Yeah.
So I found this out 20 minutes before a meeting started because, of course, I show up early. I showed up 30 minutes before I'm getting stuff set up. And at 10 minutes after I'm in the room setting up, Windows tells me we're getting ready to shut down and restart. And I'm trying pause and all this kind of nonsense. And nope.
Too late.
So I had to grab my backup machine and make that happen. So
have a good one, Lux.
Lux, thank you so much. I'm going to email you regarding little fine details around when I set up a registration on my Zoom meeting and getting StreamAlive to come in through the registration process.
Perfect. Try that. We just push something on authorization today. Do give that a try as well, but please ping me and happy to jump on and chat about that. Thank you, everyone. Thanks so much. Have a lovely weekend.
Take care, Lux.
Take care.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Cool. And I'm seeing Mr. Idelson walking around. Mr. Idelson, are you ready to talk to us?
He's on mute.
Oh.
Still on mute.
Oh, he's working on he's got his
I saw
his
the
mobile.
finger approach the screen.
Yeah. 25H2. Yes, Jason. What can I tell you?
Yeah. All I could say is, and it was 25H2, which means Microsoft was forcing you to move forward.
Sorta is the official answer.
Sorta doesn't count. He got forced. He got forced.
I was forced. You can only pause it for so long.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to buy time because I hadn't researched all the nitty gritty of how it F's up your settings. So now I get to find out. I got thrown into the mud pit. Now I got to figure it out.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I still do have a couple of test machines that have not been quote unquote forced, and I have not quote unquote shut them off yet. So I am waiting for this infamous day for them to be attacked, aka as Jason says, to be forced to be going to 25H2 from 24H2. But I do still have some, but that doesn't mean that they're safe.
No. And for you Mac users out there, I read in the support notes that pretty soon you're going to be forced to upgrade your Mac OS if it's not within the certain version numbers, because they're going to stop supporting it with the release that comes out. Well, it's supposed to come out on the 13th, but I guess it got pushed back a couple of weeks.
Well, some on the beta release of Tahoe 2026.4. I don't think I'm at risk of that.
That's good, Pete. Now, so again, any of the Mac people want to give us a little enlightenment? I know Jason and I are doing the PC side, but so what have the bad things been on Mac related to Zoom, if
There's
anything?
nothing bad with a Mac.
John found his voice.
Well, at a certain point, this was great fun. Unfortunately, I was multitasking, but I thought, just even getting into this meeting and then seeing it work. But yeah, no, it's not that Mac is perfect, but every time I go back to my Windows machine, even some of my Windows machines that I just use as toasters, like a utility, this last update messed a bunch of them up, and
Yeah.
so I was Unix, Mac, and Windows for the longest time when I was teaching. Had to be Switzerland, but now that's my time and nobody's paying me. I'm a Mac fanboy, worse than the fanboys that I used to have to deal with when I was in the academy.
Yeah. Though John, you have to admit, if you're a Mac fanboy, if you were a Unix fanboy at one point, not a Linux, a Unix fanboy, Mac should seem very familiar to you at certain points.
Yeah, well, at certain points they did. But my computer language that I learned when I was in college was COBOL and Fortran. So,
Oh, mine was 370 assembler language.
you're a smarter man than I am.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a pretty funky language back then.
Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day. But the
Yeah.
Zoom Test Kitchen is always fun. And Frank, it's always good to see you. And Jason, it's good to see you. And Peter, I'm excited at the how you're helping Oliver and the Mimo. And Hazmak looks very, formal and not moving. So I assume
he was at
listen.
I assumed he was on a golfing vacation or something, because earlier when he was on camera, he was outside somewhere.
Well, it could be his backyard. Who knows? Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Yeah. Take care, John. Good to see you.
Bye.
All right. So the Mac guys are not affected. That's good. Maybe affected, maybe, depending on your hardware, I guess it would be. Jason, is that what you're hearing? I would guess it would be OS based, would be hardware based too. That's Mac going, oh, go to a Mac Mini, go to away from an Intel, go to an M1.
That has started already, but what they do is they kick out, they have this layer that runs on an M series Mac called Rosetta, which allows Intel apps to run on an M series Mac. That gets deprecated in 2027, but they're already starting to kick out messages saying this application will not run in future releases of the operating system.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal, but I mean, it's been 7 years. Developers have been told for 7 years to redo their software for M1 silicon.
For ARM. Yeah, for ARM.
Yeah, and if they haven't, it's sort of like, hey, it's time to get going here. So
yeah, but
I have some sympathy, but not that much.
But as an example, I don't know if you've ever seen these things. I could show one, peel it off. But I have a bunch of these things, and they were made by a company. I got them about 5 years ago, and they snap together. They provide a control surface that I could use with DaVinci and things like that. The controlling app is Intel only. It runs just fine right now on my M series Mac under Rosetta, but I can't even find I think those are going to end up in the trash bin because I can't find the website anymore to download the latest software.
Yeah, I have sympathy, but again, I think you have to not blame Apple as much as the developers who aren't updating their software.
I'm not blaming Apple at all.
Sure.
This is a case of, okay, it's now obsolete. The hardware is now obsolete.
Well, you never know who's going to do something on GitHub or something. Like, there's probably someone who's going to make a Rosetta alternative or something, right?
Yeah. Well, the ones that it was an interesting conversation on Mac Break Weekly about this, about there are some games that will continue to be whitelisted.
Sure.
So that Rosetta will still be there, but unless you're in the whitelist.
Yeah. Well, guess it depends who you are and how big you are. So I have a.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead, Frank. No,
I
yeah,
was
no, I
gonna-
was just gonna say, what government app are you? Would be my official probably on that.
Well,
too.
you know, Windows has the same problems. There's like equipment on assembly lines and fab stuff where it's like we're still running XP, and if the XP machine goes down, the whole assembly line goes down. I mean, there's
Well,
always those edge cases, right?
Absolutely.
The nasty edge case, because I ran into this when I was helping run it, one of the state data centers, is medical equipment.
Sure.
That has to be FDA certified, and it's certified at a certain maintenance level of Windows. It's not even,
Yeah.
you know.
And then a serial card goes down, and they're looking across the whole country to find that specific serial card or something.
Well,
and they'll pay anything for it.
Well, no, you can't even push security fixes.
No, I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that makes. Yeah, I'm privy to that type of stuff too. Where again, Windows are back in the day. Actually, there was a Windows embed. There was a Windows embedded version, so that was supposed to be for
like Windows CE or something.
Yeah.
Well, it was like Windows CE, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So perfect example right now, actually, if you're a current original Bell Canada television IPTV watcher, then you are watching a Windows CE box that's running an old version of Windows on it. So don't be putting that on the internet. Let's just say it that way. But yeah, as an example. So yes, so there is definitely Windows is definitely in that realm, and it's I don't even want to know how old the Windows operating system is on that piece of hardware, but it is a Windows embedded OS version. It's not CE, but it's close to it.
Okay, I have a Zoom question.
You have a Zoom question? Of course.
I had no way to test this today, but someone complained that in the current version of Zoom, that the ability to take a person from the waiting room and move them directly into a breakout room is no longer available. Has anyone heard that, or?
Not I, to be honest.
I hadn't heard that. Now in the I'll say in the past, as of 2 weeks ago, I would have someone in the waiting room. I would admit them. They would come into the main room if a breakout was already in process and that person had already been assigned to the breakout. Then I'll say within a second, probably less than a second. As soon as they came into the main room, then they would automatically go over into the breakout room, provided that they signed in with the same credentials that had been assigned into that breakout group, right? So if all those dots connected. So you're saying that does not happen now?
I can't test it, so I don't know because I didn't have anyone to test it with. But there used to be a point where I'm pretty sure you could take a person in the waiting room who wasn't pre-assigned to any kind of waiting room or a breakout room and just immediately move them to a specific breakout room. And people on the Zoom community forum today, at least one person was complaining that feature no longer works. I've read a few other things that seem to have been deprecated, and I don't know if they're deprecated on purpose or, sometimes code revisions, they lose things along the way, and then they put it back when they figure out, oh, we're getting 25 complaints a day about this. We didn't mean to turn this feature off. So I haven't heard anything about that being deprecated, but I also have no way of testing it.
Frank, I've got the breakout rooms almost ready for here if you want to test.
So I would have to leave the meeting and go into the waiting room, and then you would shove me straight into a breakout room?
You wouldn't have to leave. Mike could move you into the waiting room.
Okay, well, sure. Go
So
ahead.
let me, before you do that, so you're, just to clarify, so you're saying that if someone is in the waiting room and has not yet been assigned to a breakout room, that within the breakout assignment panel, it will see who's in the waiting room, and then you can assign that person to a breakout room?
That's how it used to work.
I never knew that, never tried that. I always waited till the person was in the
Some
main
people
room.
do that to kind of deal with security for Zoom bombing. They'll put people directly from the waiting room into a breakout room and change the settings so that you can't leave the breakout room or change breakout rooms. And then they go and send like an ambassador, like one of the co-hosts will go in there and have a conversation with them to say, who are you? Why should we've never met you before. It's just another step, right? But, you know, I could think of other use cases, but people were saying that it currently wasn't working, and I didn't have any friends today that I don't have any friends. I didn't have anyone to test it with, right? And so anyways, I was just like, has anyone else heard this?
Well, we are the test kitchen, so let's test.
Well,
So I've set up test room.
banish me.
I've set up the test room. Jason, I made you co-host so you can help me here so I don't entirely break things if I break things. And I'm ready to open all rooms. Should I open all rooms?
Hold on, let me just take a look here. Let me get my breakout room open. Okay, yep, got it, ready.
Okay, all right. So we're going to open all rooms. So I've made it that you can choose. So that's probably the best way to do this.
Yeah,
Jason.
normally you wouldn't let people choose though. You would, as host, you would say, "Oh, that guy's in the waiting room. I'm shoving him directly into breakout room 1 or 6 or whatever."
Yeah, let
Right.
me look at your settings here. Allow the participants to choose the room. Yeah, no.
I won't try to escape either. I just want to see if you can actually send me into a breakout room from the
And
waiting room.
allow participants to return. No. And
Well, then you would have to leave, wouldn't you? Or do you send? Oh, you send it back out to the waiting room.
yeah, he hasn't put Frank in the waiting room yet. Let me just double check your settings, Mike.
Yep, go for it.
Nobody puts baby in the
Automatically
corner.
moved into assigned. Okay, we don't want that. Ah, okay. So Mike, I can't change the setting as a co-host. Okay.
Okay. Which one?
So let me narrate what's going on here. So host, co-host, in your Zoom toolbar, you're clicking on the button that says breakout rooms. It opens up a panel that says breakout rooms. It shows you how many rooms, it shows you how many participants, and in the bottom left-hand corner in blue, it says options. So I might click on options.
Yep.
You get a separate little window that opens up, and it allows you to change options. If you're the host, all of these options you can change. If you're the co-host, some of these are grayed out. At the top, allow participants to choose the room. No, we uncheck that.
Right.
Allow participants to return to the main session at any time. No, we don't do that, because if you got a Zoom bomber and they leave the breakout room, now they've automatically joined your main room. So no. Automatically move all assigned participants into breakout rooms when breakouts are opened. Yes or no, depending upon if you want that manual control. And then underneath that is the option include waiting room participants. So in this case, yes, we want to include waiting room participants so that when we kick Frank into the waiting room, he can go into a breakout room.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm going to close because it's grayed out right now too for me as host. So I would have to close all rooms first. Right.
Okay. So yep, if it's grayed out for you, then yes, close all the rooms.
Yeah. So
and
close
then
all
change
rooms.
your options.
Yeah. So those. So okay. So
I know those work though. You don't have to change all of them. I'm not going to try and escape or anything. I just want to see.
Right. This is the way you would typically set it up, right? So that's what we're going to test, is that test scenario.
So Jason, I turn on the automatically move all participants and I include waiting room participants.
Okay.
I did that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
Great. All right. So now I wonder if we have to open the rooms and then move Frank, or if we just have, let's do it like, let's assume he's the case where he's a Zoom bomber. So we don't know who he is. We don't know who he is. So he would not be in the main room. He would be in the waiting room first.
Right.
So let's move Frank into the waiting room first.
Okay.
It was nice knowing you, Frank.
Okay. And now you've got your breakout settings adjusted to allow for someone that you don't know to move them into a breakout room and have a little one-on-one and say, "Hey, who the heck are you?"
Right. So now I should
Now you
open
would
open all rooms.
rooms.
Yeah.
Okay, and
And
as
now
a
I see
co-host,
Frank.
I see that the breakout rooms are open, and so as the co-host, I can see that Frank is unassigned and in the waiting room.
Yeah, I see that as well.
Okay, now can you move Frank can you assign Frank into a breakout room? Because I cannot.
Yeah, I clicked on it and it says assign to.
Okay, so
Now,
assign
and
him
then
to
it says
the
test room.
breakout the breakout room is called test room. Okay,
And
and now
he's in there now.
Okay, so as a co-host, I can join the breakout room called test room, and that's what I'm going to do right now and talk to Frank.
Yeah.
It still
All
says
right.
Frank's in the waiting room. So what I'm assuming is going to happen is I'm going to go to the breakout room, and then potentially I have the power to pull him out of the waiting room, or I don't know. I'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, find out.
You might be both stuck in limbo.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I would probably go to the breakout room, but I don't know if Frank will join me there or not because right now it says Frank is in the waiting room. So let me find out, and I'll come back.
Yeah. What I
I'll
might
do the
also
breakout
do
room.
too.
Did you open the breakout rooms?
I did.
Yeah, the breakout rooms are open. So I'm going to go into the
Shouldn't I
breakout
have the
room.
4 boxes on my screen too?
No, you're not co-host. I'm
No.
going into the breakout room and I'll report what I find. Stand by.
I didn't mean as a co-host. I meant as somebody who could go into a breakout room.
Yeah, as far as I know, I've
I've
disabled allow participants to choose room.
That's right.
So that's why, Pete, you're not seeing it.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So what I might do too here is let me just, as Pete, keep talking to everybody. I'm going to actually send.
You're the only person I could talk to now.
Yeah, understood. But again, you're talking to YouTube too, is what I'm saying. Okay. No, Frank actually is. Yep. They're both in they're both in the test room right now. So I know that they're actually in there. So, okay.
Now, can they come back?
That's a good question. Yeah.
You may have trapped them in limbo at this point.
That might be true. Jason might have got a little too security phobia on me. So it might be one of those scenarios. Again, and me as host, I don't want to leave people behind because all of a sudden all kinds of wonderful things might be happening. I do know that they're talking to each other. I do see the microphones going up for each individual person. So I know that they are definitely able to talk to each other. So that's definitely happening. Here, Pete, so you can join the fun here. I'll make you co-host too, so you can see all the stuff in the breakout room that I'm seeing. And might actually, if I do break something, then at least you're in the room with me, so you're co-host with me, and things won't necessarily. Got no wreck. We're trying not to wreck. Yeah.
Here comes Jason back as a co-host.
And Jason's back
because he was a co-host, so he could come back.
Correct.
Yeah, but Frank is still trapped.
Correct. So let me report my findings. So I, as a co-host, went into the breakout room that was called test room. It was just me. I clicked on the participants panel. I saw Frank in the waiting room and an admit button. I clicked on the blue admit button that brought him into the breakout room called test room. I spoke to him, absolved him of all his sins.
Where's your Roman collar?
And I left it in the other room. And I said, okay, now your leave breakout room button, if you click that, does it take you into the main room? Yes or no? He said, well, my leave button only says leave meeting. I said, okay. So as a co-host, I have the ability to bounce around in all the rooms. So now I'm coming back here into the main room and I'm reporting to Mike, the host, that Frank is absolved of all of his sins. And so now Mike can take Frank out of the breakout room and bring him back into the main room, please.
All right. On that note, here he comes. We hope.
Yeah, it took a while for me.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah.
There he is. Oh, and he's taking pictures.
Oh,
he's
boy.
taking pictures. he's like, am I back?
He's watching reels, dogs and cats. So yeah, and that was the scenario. And let me just double check the settings in the breakout panel to
Yeah.
confirm what just happened. Okay, so allow participants to choose room. No. Allow participants to return to the main session at any time. No. Which is probably why Frank didn't have the leave breakout room option. It just had the
Right.
leave meeting option.
Which is good. That's the bomber proof where the
Yep.
bomber would be.
Yep.
Right.
Thanks for testing that. At least now I can refute that claim.
Of course. That was a lot of fun. Again, I haven't been using breakout rooms as much, so that was good to have both of you guys walking me through that too. So
You can use breakout rooms for a lot of things, including jail.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, so
purgatory.
yeah. Frank, you officially were purgatoried until I was told that all your sins were forgiven by Jason, so that's very good.
I've done a lot of bad things. I probably deserved it.
You're absolved.
There you go. All right.
Hey, Lent started the other day, so
I'll
good
buy
timing.
an indulgence.
Yep.
If you're familiar with the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, very much so.
Yeah. So on that note, I will close all the rooms unless we want any other testing you guys want to do with that room or no? Or is that it? Jason, you good?
Yeah, I'll just point out in the commentary that one of the settings under options is automatically move all selected participants in the breakout room to the main session. That affects what happens when you close all rooms.
Yeah.
So, if you've got someone in purgatory and you're running a legitimate breakout session at the same time and you close all rooms, check that one little setting in there, because that determines whether the people in purgatory now automatically come back into your main room.
Right. Good point. All right. On that note, I will close all rooms.
And the
That
catch
was
is you can't individually close rooms.
That was a
Right.
good one. That was a good test.
Yeah.
And Frank, I don't know, did you want me to get a screenshot of the settings that we did? Actually, you know what? Let me do that. You guys keep chatting and I will grab the screenshot.
Yeah, if you want to throw it in the chat, I'll save it.
Yeah.
Thanks. Wow,
Yeah.
this is a full service kind of place. I like this place.
Yeah, I just got to figure out how to screenshot that without it disappearing on me because it's
You got to
gonna
add the
disappear on
room,
me.
right? First. Because you close the rooms. Or maybe
No,
you
but
have it. You have it and I don't.
Right. Yeah. No, I still have the full options here, and I was trying to screenshot just the actual options themselves. That's what I was trying to do. Here, let me see if I can actually do this on a different screen.
Use the print screen button if you're on
Yeah,
a
I
Windows
know.
machine. Love it.
I know. I'm just trying not to give all kinds of wonderful things when I do that.
Oh, when you see, when I hit print screen, it gives me, well, right now I'm running 3 screens and multiple windows open on each one. So it gives me the option of what I want to grab. So I can just click on that one, in this case, the breakout room panel, and snap that.
Yeah. I'm almost there, actually. Let me just check this out
Good.
here. Okay. Okay. No, go ahead, guys. Talk.
So
and I'll be
Stream
continuing.
Alive today was cool stuff.
It's interesting. I mean, I have to think about it a little bit, Jason, how to use it in my use case. As I said, I usually have a bunch of minors,
Yeah.
and we don't like full names showing up.
Well, right. And the thing is everything that Stream Alive sees is via the Zoom chat, or if you're
Right.
using Teams or whatever meeting platform you're using, it's that chat engine that Stream Alive sees. And then, of course, all your activity reports that Stream Alive provides is based off of username and interaction. Right. So it'll say 24 people typed their city name in there. So that when you pull the Magic Maps report, it shows 24 and all that kind of stuff. So if you think about where do I limit, that's where you have to limit.
I think what he suggested will work, which is, only allow chat to hosts and co-hosts. I think that will solve part of the problem. It won't. I'll be curious about how he generates the reports. You notice he didn't quite say that the analytical level of data was available yet.
Well, and the thing is too, is your analytics is based off of unique users, right? Because, and I've done this test before, because if you have anonymous, then it shows 100, right? And the bar graph just shows one bar,
Right.
right? Because all users are anonymous. So the one user anonymous interacted 100 times, not that 100 people interacted one time.
Right.
But what there is a feature within Streamalive is when you're displaying things on the screen, there's a toggle display usernames or something to that effect with responses. Display username with responses, yes, no, checkbox, right? So when you do, let's say the magic maps, let me use a different, when you do the word cloud one that comes up, if you disable usernames with interaction, you just get the response. You don't get Peter typed this, Mike typed that.
Right.
Now, when I go run my activity report, it will show me Peter interacted, Frank interacted, Mike interacted. But if you think about it, as the person hosting the meeting, like we'll take your Scouts meeting as an example, well, you already have an idea of who's coming or not because you had to invite them.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an idea of who attended because you could see that in the participants list. Maybe even you have to run an attendance report for your Scoutmasters meeting or whatever. Hey, we've got a 50% no-show rate or something like that. So in that aspect, there's already information that as a host you would be seeing anyway. You just control what you want to share out to the public or not, right? So if you disable the feature, show participant's name with that interaction, then you get a sensitive question like the mental health question or something like that. People can respond, and it'll show 60% of your audience says yes, I have mental issues, but it doesn't show you who of that 60 answered.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think through, because to be honest with you, my initial take was is unlike the built-in functions in Zoom for questions and polls and things like that, which are fairly straightforward and easy. I got to play with it because that seemed extraordinarily labor intensive.
Yeah, so let me answer that one because I've done that myself. So where Streamalive is useful is in its animation and its eye candy. Okay. So where would you use it? Anywhere where you're asking your audience to type in the chat. So before Streamalive, you might ask a question. Name your favorite ice cream color, flavor, and why. Type it in the chat. Okay, so you know what that chat interaction looks like in Zoom, right? All the text is the same font, and you get this long laundry list, and it takes you a while to read through it and sort through it and get it straight in your mind, and then say, okay, it looks like a lot of people like strawberry. So where Streamalive comes in is you would ask that question, people would still type their answer in the chat, but now the eye candy factor clicks in and it'll show you 40% of the people responded strawberry, 30% chocolate, 90 whatever the 10% pistachio or whatever that is. And so the interaction for the audience is the same, the user interface is the same, but the output is different. Now, how would you use that versus the quiz feature, or excuse me, the Q&A feature in Zoom? The Q&A feature in Zoom meetings and Zoom webinar has the option to submit anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
So you could use the Q&A and the question could be, if you know someone who has mental issues, respond in the Q&A, allow anonymous, and you would see yes, 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 yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could display those results. If you use the polling feature in Zoom which in Zoom meetings, and I don't know off the top of my head about Zoom webinar, but in Zoom meetings, you use the polling feature.
It's there. Polls are there too.
And I don't know if all the options are the same or if there are more in webinars. Usually webinars has got a few more, tricks to it. But in the polling feature, you can allow anonymous, and when you display results, you can when you share results within the Zoom meeting, it usually just shows you like the little bar graph with the percentages on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a host, there's a link within that option that says something like display in a web page or display in web browser or something like that. And it opens up a URL and it gives you a very nice looking graphic of the much better than the poll within the Zoom meeting itself.
Mm-hmm.
Which usually I end up screen capturing that and submitting it in the user reports that go to the client reports and things like that. And so in there you can also show percentage wise of who did what. And if you export the CSV, you have the option of with user data or not user data.
Yeah. No, I understand all. Yeah, I agree with that. I was talking about the initial setup. In other words, and running it, because it just seemed I'm a one-man band here running those meetings, and I'm just trying to figure out how many different hands do I need. I mean, I make heavy use of Stream Deck to get things done.
So this is why I like the PowerPoint add-in, where it really saved me a lot of time. Mike, I'd like to share something. Do I have sharing permissions?
You're still a co-host.
You should, sir.
Okay.
And yes, everybody I think can share. That's
okay.
a panel.
Excellent. So I'm going to put something up here on this.
Frank and John are behind closed doors now.
Okay. So I'm in PowerPoint right now. We're here in the backstage view. So this is a typical setup for me. So this is what the attendee is seeing when they come into Zoom. I'm usually running side-by-side mode, so they're seeing a shared screen in one panel. They're seeing the webcams, the talking heads in the other panel, and they usually got the chat panel opened up. And then so this blue is their view of Zoom. What's happening on my machines is we run a minimum of 3 screens, sometimes 4, but a minimum of 3. On screen 1, we have all our open apps. So PowerPoint.
Yep.
If you've got Kahoot or Menti or those type of things in a web browser, that would be on screen 1. Zoom 2, screen 2 is the Zoom session, host view.
Right.
And then the third screen is whatever we want to share into the meeting, it just goes onto that screen. So in Zoom, when I click the share button, it's share screen 3. And then whatever's on screen 3 gets shared, and I can move content on and off Zoom on screen 3, and it just magically appears in the attendee view. I don't have to keep hitting the share button, and you don't have that black window in between, where you're pausing, waiting for the share to turn on.
I do the same thing through my 2ME.
Okay, right. So you would do it through your video switcher, and then same kind of thing. So I can stay within one app within PowerPoint and just be clicking through slides, or more importantly, my presenters are clicking through the slides because I'd pass the remote control over to them. So when I'm in my PowerPoint, like right now, what you see is when I get to a slide where I want to do an interaction, I go up to my add-ins, I click on my Stream Alive icon. It opens up this window here, asks me to authenticate, and I can make this bigger. It asks me to authenticate. So here's my account, and then I pick my interaction, and it's going to add this into my PowerPoint deck. Sure, let's just pick that question. Wonderful. Okay, so this is an add-in on my slide. So the black part is the add-in, the white part is in my slide. I can resize this appropriately. I can even make it larger than my slide if I drag correctly. So let's just take it off the screen. Okay. And right, okay, yes, we're in a Zoom. You know what? I'm not even going to add it in, but I would normally I would do this. I would add in the URL, blah blah blah. That step is so that it can listen to the chat window in Zoom.
Right.
That's what this is doing. Okay. On my end as a host, when I click slideshow view and take it full screen onto number 3, this is what the audience would see. And so as they're typing it into the chat, the little bubbles pop up. I don't have to switch apps. I don't have to do all this kind of stuff. I hit go once and it's going.
Yeah.
So it saves me a lot of work.
Yeah. The key is to pre-build it ahead of time.
Yes. Yes. In the slide deck. Right. And so, and Hasmuk would have the same thing. You get content from lots of presenters. It's a conference, and presenter A is going to talk about widgets, and presenter B is going to talk about thingamabobs. And they all send you their content, and you're assembling it into one deck, and then you're putting in interaction. So you bring all your content into one deck, and then you decide, right between here, let's do an interaction. And let's make it something from StreamAlive. You can add the other ones have buttons too. Okay, so the other ones that you use, same thing, but we're talking about StreamAlive today. So we pop in StreamAlive. Because I've already authenticated on one slide, it should see me and tie me right in. So spinning wheel. Yep, sure enough. Okay, and so I say, well, on this one, let's do, let's do a power pole. Why not? And then boom, it's built. I just have to type in what the prompt is, or it suggests. I'll just pick one of these suggestions. So it saves me a lot of time. And before this add-in, I had to go into the web browser, build the interaction, and then when it was time, slide the web browser onto screen 3 so that the audience saw it and could, and it was clunky.
Right. So you basically were screen scraping, Jason, at that point, to a point.
To a point. Yeah. I was just bringing different apps onto the sharing screen at the correct time, So if I clicked, then it wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to be. Now I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Frank.
So I never enjoy what you're talking about when you have to get a bunch of people's different slide decks and create one master slide deck. It's a big pain in the bum, especially different fonts, and people don't know how to package up PowerPoint slideshows, so they use fonts that aren't on my computer or sound effects.
That's the beautiful thing of a template. I don't care what they send it to me in, it just fixes it and dumps it the way I want to see it.
What happens if somebody puts a StreamAlive presentation in their deck, and then someone has a different StreamAlive presentation in a different deck, and it's tied to their credentials? Has that ever happened to you?
It has not happened yet.
Operative word there is yet.
Yeah, I mean, because it's adoption rate, right?
Sure.
So,
so you're designing the StreamAlive for everybody who presents, and they're just going to live with it, whether they like it or not.
Well, and the reason why that works for me is because as the producer, I'm producing the client reports, right? So the client wants to know what was interaction. Okay, so I pull the reports because I built the interaction, so I can pull all the reports. I have access to all the information.
It makes complete sense. I just wondered if that weird thing had ever happened to you.
So just kind of thinking what you're thinking. Go ahead.
We used to have a slide Dropbox, like an address where you would, if you're a presenter, you would send your slide deck in advance, and then we would go through your slide deck and make sure it was, up to speed.
Kosher.
Yeah, then, but this is before things like StreamAlive were there. What if someone puts their own StreamAlive credentials, and obviously you don't know everybody's account credentials, right? So like, how do you get around that? Like, StreamAlive probably doesn't have the concept of shared accounts or something, right?
So it does have it's not called a shared account. It has a team account.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have people within your own organization contribute content into your
So
bucket.
so co-editors, co-publishers, that kind of thing.
But within the same organization. So
Sure.
just kind of brainstorming, hypothetically, I would have to test it. Hypothetically, could I allow these presenters team access into the bucket and then bring their content in? That would potentially work.
Or
Do you have an
Jason,
enterprise account?
On Streamalive,
Yeah.
no, right now solo to test it out.
Because I was looking at their credit versus monthly, like how you can pay for users. I went to their payment page, and it was, sort of
Yeah.
like what a lot of companies do is either you can have so many users a month, you can have a yearly plan with so many users, or you can buy, I guess, attendee credits or something, right?
And that just changed. They just rolled, and Lux didn't speak to that. They just rolled out the new payment plan in February this month, if I'm not mistaken. And they have rollover credits, and you can bump up and then scale back down as you need to. It's a lot more flexible than it used to be. So that's why right now I'm like solo to try it out and figure out where it works and where it breaks before I scale
think
it out.
you and I have a lot in common. Do you have an LMS where you are?
Yeah.
And do you guys use LTI 1.1 or 1.3 or something like that?
I don't know the answer to that
Oh,
question.
I'm just wondering if
We use
Streamalive support.
Canva.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if Streamalive supports LTI.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
No big deal.
Yeah, Canva, Canvas. Canvas is the LMS.
Canva is something else. Yeah.
Yeah, Canva is the graphic design program.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that's now
I mean-
to your question about what if someone else embedded a Streamalive. I think what would happen is when I got to, let's say it's this slide here, slide 2, it would prompt me for credentials, and I type in my credentials, and it would go to my account, or I would type in someone else's credentials, and it would go
Sure.
to their account, right? Because
I'm sure it's like any kind of embedded URL or something that requires authentication. If there's 4 different ones and you don't know them, then you're screwed when you get to that slide.
yeah. Yeah. So Jason, here's the other thought that I had too, was that if you were setting up an event that had, multiple presenters, you may want to offer Streamalive as an add-on to your customers to say, okay, yeah, if you want to use any interactivity type polling that Streamalive offers, here, I'll set you up in our master account, and I'll use that loosely, so that then you as a producer now, even though these people are not part of your org per se, they're a temporary part of your org. Would that work at Streamalive or no?
I haven't tested it. In theory, yes, right? So if I have the account that allows team members, and then I can assign those team member accounts to anybody at any email address, then yes, in theory that would work. The way that we do it practically is, a presenter is the master of their content. They're the subject matter expert. That's what they're here for. So as the producer, one of the questions that I ask the presenter is, what kind of interaction are you looking for from the audience? And we have that conversation. And sometimes they get really buried down in the details. Well, normally I use Zoom polling, and normally I'll use Zoom Q&A and stuff like that. A lot of times I'll even ask, okay, forget about the technology for a minute. If we were in a hotel ballroom, how would you conduct this exercise? Based off of what they tell me, then as a producer, I decide what the best tools are. It might be Menti, it might be Kahoot, it might be Streamalive, and then let's say I pick Streamalive. Okay, which one? A word cloud, a spinning wheel, blah blah blah, those kind of things, and so then I'll design it in there, and I'll say, okay. Like a lot of times a presenter will say, well, I want to give away a prize for somebody as an incentive for attending our free webinar. Okay, great. That's going to be Streamalive. It's going to be a spinning wheel because they're one of the few that have it and they're the best at it. So I would pick that tool and I would add it into that presentation at the appropriate time.
Right.
Somebody says, oh, I want to do a a quiz where folks are zapping a QR code on their phone. Okay, now I got a couple of options as to which tool would work best, and we would have that design conversation and figure out which tool to use. But that's the way we normally do our workflow.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And again, so in theory, if you did come up with that as a producer to suggest that they wanted the spinning wheel as it, but they wanted to customize it in one way or another, the bad example, but let's say they wanted to customize it, you could actually add them then to your account as a team member so they can customize it until the cows come home. Then you still have full control of it at event day.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Does Streamalive have any kind of, like, I just checked, they support SSO, that's good. Do you know if they support user managed, like, is there an admin role in, like, I think they probably have an enterprise plan. Do they have an admin role that allows an admin to manage people's accounts and collections?
Yeah,
and things?
as the account owner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you decide who's in, who's out. Are they view only? Are they editor?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just reading about it. All right, interesting. I'm used to enterprise level tools where there's robust admin tools so that you can manage people's accounts or go into their account and see what they're doing or change settings for them when they don't know how to do it themselves.
And in that aspect, Frank, there's another little, I'll call it a workaround. Maybe that's not the right terminology. But within Zoom apps, you can choose Streamalive. You could choose Menti. You could choose Kahoot, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And as a Zoom admin, you can control what powers the Zoom app has at
only in the
level.
only in the integration though. Like for example, I'm a Zoom admin and I'm a Kaltura admin and a Brightspace, which is our LMS admin. So I can log into each of those different systems and do various things. And there are overlaps or things where, I can go into Zoom and change some settings that'll impact your experience in the LMS. But sometimes you need direct access to each silo to make minute changes or to see specific kinds of data, right?
Yeah, so as a Zoom admin, if I go in and I allow users to add apps, and then I say limit it to Streamalive, and then I tell the user, yes, you can use your Streamalive as a Zoom app, and then they would go into Zoom, they would go into in a meeting, right? In a Zoom meeting, they would click the hamburger button, and then they would choose apps, and then they would pick Streamalive, and then they would get an authentication prompt, and then they would type in their credentials. So whether it's their account, whether it's the enterprise account, whether it's the church account, whatever, they type in those credentials to access the content that is part of their account, and then through sharing, it would come into the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, definitely. I looked at the Zoom Marketplace through my Zoom admin powers to see if they had an app, and they do. I can't enable it without going through our privacy and security review people to see what data it collects, like where's the data kept, is it kept in transit, is it kept at rest? Like I have to know that stuff before I can enable something that captures personal data.
Yeah. And I don't have the specific answers to those questions, but remember, it is post Zoom chat. So I would think whatever you've enabled or not enabled in Zoom gets passed along to Streamalive. So if you're not capturing it in Zoom, I don't think it gets passed along to Streamalive.
So I set up a free Streamalive account while Lux was talking, and then I tried logging in with my credentials into the Zoom meeting here, the Zoom test kitchen, and my Zoom account blocked me because not as admin, but just as a regular user, the admin, me and some of the other admins, we don't allow you to do that. We don't allow third-party apps in our Zoom situations unless we've vetted them first. So even on a free account, I couldn't get in because it immediately triggered the Zoom Marketplace and asked me as an admin whether or not I was going to allow it.
But I could have done that.
Yeah, well, I'm on an enterprise account though, so it's a little different, and
That's
it's
what I'm
tied
saying.
into
It's
single
because I'm
sign-on.
because I'm on a business, but an individual account.
Sure, sure.
I could have done that. Oh, I try that later tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to go into my app marketplace admin settings right now if refamiliarize myself with where that little checkbox is on third-party apps. Because I think that's also where you can restrict it to only the apps you've whitelisted.
Yeah, yeah. So you can pre-approve apps too before people even ask for them in the Zoom Marketplace, but you can also enable an app for one person or for everyone in your Zoom organization. So I could theoretically allow myself to use it and nobody else, but I still don't want to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because again, Frank, you would have to go to the legal team, but again, you're at a different level, so they would probably want you to test it, but you would have to get their approval first before
Well,
that.
Zoom, you're probably familiar with this. In a lot of situations, when you're using servers and stuff, you set up your production server, your pre-production server, and your dev server. So we have all of those for Zoom and for all of our other things. And in Zoom, they're called sub accounts. At least that's how we use them. We have sub accounts. So we tie the sub account into one server. We tie the production Zoom into the production other platforms. So usually I do my testing in my sub account. And you get multiple sub accounts under a main account.
Right. Right. Okay. But again, you'd have to be at that licensing level, Frank, correct?
Yeah, it's definitely an enterprise level situation at that point. But I'm pretty sure you could probably have a sub account on a pro account or a business account if you requested it, but it costs more. It's basically two complete sets of licenses, except I don't know if in like that scenario, but in our enterprise scenario, the sub account counts against our total user license base. So the main account might have 35,000, and if you move 5,000 of them into the sub account, you still only have 35,000, but you've partitioned 5,000 of them into the sub account.
Right.
Right. Right. Based on that, shall we call it, in lack of terminology, based on that domain's security or that domain's admin capability.
Right.
Where you've adminned it down to just certain things.
But sub accounts are really useful. Like imagine you have a big organization, umbrella organization, and then you have, let's say you have sales and you have marketing and you have, I don't know, production or something, and they all want their Zoom to be slightly different or they want different abilities. You can do things in one account called groups. So Zoom has groups, and you can have groups have different permissions. But a whole other way to do it, if you want to change the branding and other things too, or have different domains, is you can have sub accounts that have different. It's kind of like having a website with different sub sections that are all different. It's sort of like that, right? So there's different ways to do it, I guess.
I use the groups feature.
I find the groups feature kind of clumsy a little bit. Like at least it's not intuitive in the sense that you basically have to put everybody into one big group, and then you have to have your other groups, because if you keep everyone just in like the main user thing ungrouped, you have to unlock, let's say you want to unlock a feature for a group, you have to unlock it for the whole account, and that's like, I don't want to unlock it for the whole account. I want to make this group so they have special privileges, but you have to unlock it at the top level unless you put everyone in the normal group and then everyone who's special in the special groups, which is just sort of an unintuitive way to do things.
Yeah, it can get messy.
I don't understand why they don't just allow you to change the settings in the groups without unlocking whatever feature we're talking about in the main group. Like, why isn't it completely independent?
Right. Or at least have everything enabled at the main level, or nothing.
Or restricted, depending on what you want, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah. So everything off at the main level, and then in the group I'm going, okay, I'm going in the group, and this is going tick, 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 tick.
That's how I do it.
I think the reason is that the way groups work in Zoom is you can be a member of multiple groups. And if you're a member of multiple groups, you get the least restrictive permission out of all the groups you're in for whatever feature you're talking about, which is kind of also a weird way of approaching it. I don't know why they did it that way too.
Yeah, and that's the way we use it, right? So we've got a production group, a testing group as an example. And so there are apps that are approved in production, and there are more apps that are in testing.
Yeah.
Zoom,
I don't know.
Zoom apps, you know.
Every company kind of sets up their server technology a certain way, I guess, and
Yeah,
permissions.
I mean, we did it that way because that was, you know, what we're talking about is approving Zoom apps. So it was like, okay, how does Zoom handle permissions? How does Zoom handle permissions within groups? How do I assign apps to a testing environment? How do I assign apps to a production environment? And so once we learned how Zoom handled all that stuff, then we said, okay, that's the process. That's how we'll do it. And so we have some apps that are approved for live shows, and then we have others that are not yet approved for live shows.
Yeah, our team that does live shows, I've given them special accounts with special permissions. But even Zoom, to integrate it into an LMS, uses something called LTI Pro. And when you turn that functionality on, LTI Pro also has settings that you have to deal with as well that restrict or allow certain things too, right? Permissions everywhere. It's a permission festival.
Yeah, right.
And heaven forbid them cross permissions too, where you've enabled it here and disabled it there.
Or, as Mike probably knows very well, like directories like 777 permissions and stuff like that. Right?
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. 644, 777, 755, 744. Yes. Ah, yes. User, group, other.
Yeah. I'm always trying to get 777.
You're always trying, which means that he wants access to everything, boys and girls. What are you showing us, Jason?
So this is a screen when you go to add a Zoom app, right? So it's an app that has to be in the marketplace, and then you can add it. The three dots button, add, and then it asks you, do you want to add it to all users, only specific users, or groups? So we have a testing group. Do you want a specific approved users and groups, specific users and groups? So if I want to assign it to a tester, I could do that. If I want to assign it to an entire approved group, the live show team, I could hit this button.
That's cool. I've never seen it in black before.
Oh, dark theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite apps too.
I do everything in dark mode where possible, so that I don't get the face lighting.
Yeah, makes sense. Especially if you're in a live production, you don't want that.
And a teleprompter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't need
the
extra light
person
on
goes
the
from, you know, they just spent 1 hour in makeup, they look beautiful, and then they step in front of a white Word document and they look ghostly.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, gang. YouTube has been quiet, but we've been good, and we've been coming up with all kinds of different scenarios. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. So if anybody else has anything else to let everybody know about, this is your last chance, panelist wise, and as well as our friends on YouTube. If you have any last minute questions, this would be the time to do so, but you've been quiet for the last half hour, so I'm assuming no. So let me know in chat. This will be the last time before we close it out for this week. Oh, and we're getting compliments from Kieran. Kieran, remind me, are you from Australia? I think, Kieran, you're from Australia, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so great discussion. Thank you for that. We love to have all kinds of wonderful topics here, especially when it comes to Zoom, because Zoom you can do so many. Yes, Aussie. Oh, oi, there you go. You got my little Australian on that one for you. So yeah, we have a lot of conversations about all kinds of different little Zoom tidbits, especially the different environments that we're all in, from all the way from a basic pro account that you have to be the admin and the user for, all the way up to, 30,000, 40,000 potential users in the database and how to allocate this license that direction, this way, that way, and everywhere.
And where to find the settings, because with the last couple of version changes, stuff's moved around.
That's it. Absolutely. Yes. And of course, Jason, we didn't talk to you yet. We haven't seen you since the interface changes. So I don't know if that's been a wonderful delight for you or not.
Well, a couple of things that I'll share on that have been kind of, I'll say, surprises. Some nice, some not so nice. The not so nice ones are, where the heck is this thing now? Where is this setting now?
Right.
That's the not so nice. One of the nice things is this default setting. Well, yeah, as an admin, you can set a default, which is as long as you're an admin on the Zoom account, under your security, you can basically set the maximum number of sign-ins per device. So in your production team, you can have multiple devices with the same login credentials.
Right.
Okay, so what you used to have to do is create a bunch of separate email addresses and then have those separate email addresses log into the Zoom, and it might be one guy sitting in front of 4 machines, each with a different email address. Now you can keep one guy, one email address, multiple machines, and you decide what that number is, up to 5. And then the other thing that is a nice, and it's on this screen somewhere, I have to find it again, but the other thing that's a nice thing is automatically sign out of devices after X number of days.
Of
And
inactivity.
And you can choose desktop client, mobile client, web portal, and so that it forces a sign out, even if the person has checked that remain signed in. After
People
X
get really
number of
mad about
days.
that one. We set it to once a week, and we got all kinds of hate.
Yeah, but it keeps your stuff secured. Like,
Oh, I know.
if you've got, use case here is you've got a production crew, and we're flying across country, and we've shipped some of our equipment, and other equipment we're just going to rent on site because that's more cost effective. And so let's say we rented a bunch of computers and we signed in with the credentials or whatever. I don't have to go back and worry about, did everybody sign out or not.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I completely understand. One of the reasons we use it, too, is we purge users once a year to recover licenses. So if we know you've logged out and you've logged back in, it gives us a more accurate understanding of who's using their license and who's not using their license.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, purging is not a bad thing. So basically, Jason, that's based on inactivity, right?
Yeah, here it is on the
First and
screen.
second.
Let's see, I found it on the screen.
Hey, go ahead, Frank.
He's absolutely correct. You can do it on sign in, sign out too. If you're using stuff like single sign on, then you can. There's logs for sign on logs as well as activity logs.
Right. Yeah. So anybody did. So we did have a last minute question, which was, what is the current version? Of course, the easiest way to remember it is, if you remember the 6.7 craze, then do a high 5. So it's 6.7.5.
Nope, you're wrong. 6.7.6 for Mac users.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, you guys snuck in a version.
There was in Tahoe, there was a CPU utilization issue. It was hogging CPU, so they released a patch.
Okay. Yeah, Jason, you're still 6.7.5, right?
Let's see. Yes.
Since Frank has me second guessing myself that I'm up to date. As far as I know, I'm up to date. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I was just going through and checking it. So yes, 6.7.5, and they haven't said what the version. Yeah, 6.7.6 for February came on February 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did have one question, and that is, I walk me through this and exactly what it would do and how it would be a pain in the butt for somebody. Users need to sign in again after a period of inactivity. So first, what is inactivity? How does Zoom decide it? And then what happens?
Frank, I think you're going to be the best one on that one because you probably deal with that on occasion. Are you there? Oh, Frank just stepped away momentarily. I've not used that as of yet. I haven't been that strict with our team as of yet, but that doesn't mean that it's not a bad thing to look at. So the inactivity for me would be that you haven't logged in. Inactivity, see, if you're in the client and the client is running in the background, I wouldn't call that inactivity.
Yeah,
That's my two thoughts on that.
Okay, so let's take it. So first I have an option, inactivity on the web. So I'm assuming that's you're using Zoom meeting web portal.
Right. So going
join
to the
from
web
browser
interface
is
instead
what
of-
the blue button would say on the
Right.
meeting screen.
Yeah.
And then I guess I can choose however many minutes here, up to 2 hours. Okay. But how does it determine what is inactivity? If I'm watching a Zoom meeting or webinar, it doesn't matter. If I'm joining through the browser, how does it decide was it inactive? Like if I don't type a chat in within 20 minutes, if I don't click an emoticon or raise my hand, how does it determine it?
Yeah. Frank has just come back. So I just want to, Frank, did you hear Jason's question? If
No,
not,
I was
Jason,
getting a new glass of water. Sorry.
Yeah. Jason, do your question again for Frank. I think Frank will be able to answer this one for you.
Okay, so I don't know if this is new or if this is just I've newly seen this. Maybe it's been there and I just haven't seen it for however many months. And it's users need to sign in again after a period of inactivity. So, okay, one, what is inactivity? How does it determine what inactive is? And then, two, after I dial in the number of minutes, it asks them to sign in again based off of what this text says. So if I set period of inactivity for the web, meaning I guess that somebody has joined the Zoom meeting via the web portal, the blue button says join from browser, and they're inactive for 30 minutes. Okay, how does it determine what inactivity is? If I'm not typing in the chat, or I didn't raise my hand, or click an emoticon or something?
All I know is that everybody doesn't see it, but I know Frank is looking. So go ahead, Frank.
I'm just comparing our settings. We don't use that setting because we have it set to SSO. It's instead of that as our default, and then we allow you to be basically in the meeting for the whole 30 hours.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have this. Well, now I checked the box and enabled it for this account anyway. But like I say, I just like, hey, I don't remember seeing this. What
But are you guys using SSO?
No.
Oh, okay. So our IT guys decide how long SSO is valid, how long a session is valid before you're logged out of your SSO. And if you're logged out of your SSO, then you're no longer valid in your Zoom session.
And it picks up inactivity through the operating system.
I think so. Most of our systems, it's 2 hours of inactivity, which, if you walk away from your computer for 5 minutes in a library, you could be compromised too. So 2 hours, 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Like, I don't know how much security is too much security, and between that and the concept of usability, right?
Yeah, so like in a Windows environment where I've used SSO, inactivity was typically set at 5 minutes, and inactivity was measured based off of mouse wiggle.
Right, right.
And so if the mouse hadn't moved for 5 minutes, it assumed the user was away, and Windows would lock the account. For non-Windows users,
lock the
basically,
screen.
you lock the screen, right? Basically, Windows users, if you hit Control Alt Delete and you choose lock, right, that's what would happen. And so if you walked away and you'd lock the screen, you'd sign back in, and then all the apps that you were signed into, it would get passed through the SSO, and they would all sign back in. And 5 minutes was the number that was picked. And so if you were presenting a PowerPoint, you obviously weren't going to be you either had to make sure you were wiggling your mouse, or you bought a mouse wiggler USB stick off of Amazon, and it would make sure you would tell the mouse wiggler, hey, every X number of time frame, execute a mouse wiggle, and then that would keep your machine open for your 45-minute keynote presentation or whatever you were doing.
Yeah, I really think it depends on your organization and your IT security people and what they decide. So, like, I'm not part of that group, so I don't get a say on that aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm going to leave this unchecked. I was just wondering what the heck it does and why I might want to use it.
So, like I said, for us, we're not using it the way you're using it. We have it set up to our slave to our SSO, or tied to our SSO.
So yeah, so it's become now Frank's IT department, not Frank, that's worrying about the timeouts.
Right. And the reason why I do it this way is when I hire independent contractors, right? So I may have a freelancer that I bring in for one show, and I give them one of my Zoom accounts. And I'm not going to put them in the entire organization and set them up with a.
Yeah, we can do that too. They're called, you can make an authentication exception in Zoom.
Okay, so use SSO except for.
Yeah. So there's an SSO exception bucket or container, and you can put people's email addresses in there, and they bypass SSO.
Okay. So that may be something that we look at where we could implement SSO except for freelancers. Yeah, it's disabled, right? So I'd have to turn
that has its own security risks, though, because what if they walk away from the machine during a live show to go get lunch or something, and they don't log out?
Yep. And
Jason,
but then maybe you have Windows policies that log the machine out because there's no mouse wiggle. I mean, you can do security multiple different ways, overlapping ways at the same time.
Yeah, you're either doing it at the app level, Jason, which is what you're doing right now with Zoom. But if you don't do it at the app level, now you have to do it at the operating system level, right?
Yeah, and that, okay,
desktop.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I would really have to test it all out to really get a, plus and minus, pros and cons. But we do the app level because, like I say, you might have a freelancer on, and it's typical where you'll do a rehearsal, then you do a meal break, and the crew walks away, and the machines are there, and the content's loaded, and then you come back from meal break, everybody's in the green room, then you open the house, then you run your show, right? So there's that period of where people walk away, but the stuff is loaded and ready to go, because when you come back from meal break, okay, let's turn this thing on and go.
Again, what I would do is take the average time that a potential break would be for that person, and then bump it up by 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say the maximum amount of time that you give a contractor for lunch is 2 hours. Then I would set it
meal
like
breaks are an hour, right? So you figure, okay, hour and 15 minutes would be your
hour and
after
15, or even if you're doing the 2 hours, I would do 2.5.
Yeah.
Then that's it. If they're not touching that machine in 2.5 hours, what are they doing? Because they're also costing you 2.5 hours.
Right.
On your dime too, right?
Yeah.
But I've been at lots of live shows. Oh, sorry. I've been at lots of live shows where we're live streaming, and maybe you put the break slide up or the break graphics package up. You're not going to turn off the switcher usually you get a security guard or somebody to guard the tech table while the crew goes and eats or whatever, or you send people in shifts or something, right? Like you don't necessarily shut the equipment off, you guard the equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's all your workflow too, Jason. Because again, there could be something that, as Frank was saying about the slide could actually still work with the machine locked.
Yeah. Right. So yeah,
It,
if you had,
it just depends on how you're, if some operating systems, if you lock the machine, then obviously nothing's going to come out. It's going to be locked. But then you could also, there's some workarounds that you could potentially do. And on top of that too, it really comes down to what is deemed important, that needs to be fed to the switcher, let's say for the venue, in the venue scenario, that needs to be fed from that PC to the venue. It'd be maybe better if it was, let's say you had an ATEM as well as you're doing slides from PowerPoint. Well, maybe at that particular point, when you're going for break, it's better to pull up a slide out of the ATEM.
yeah.
Media, right?
Right. Because your
Then-
Zoom meeting room would be closed during that hour.
Right. And now on top of that too, chances are you're flipping out laptops if you're changing laptops for the presenter.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all about, taking the onus of, unplugging and plugging things, how much interruption that will be to the in-house production as well as in Zoom production in that regards too, where if you had like a little baby switcher like the ATEM Mini Pro being your conduit between, oh, we're plugging in this laptop now. Okay, let's plug it in. I'll go to a slide, right? So as I would do here, that's where I would do my cut over to, now I'm pulling this slide out of the ATEM, right?
Yeah.
So and now I'm back, but it allows me to now unplug and plug things out of the ATEM without the ATEM going nuts because the
Right.
ATEM will go nuts because of framing, right? And then on top of that too, should you have frame rate issues, plugging, all that fun stuff. Of course, the less plugging, I'm using that as a bad example, but again, you should be plugging that in at the podium more than at the actual switcher level, but that's all their situation. But, in that regards, that's what I would be doing nowadays because somebody's going to bring their Mac Mini. Somebody's going to
Yeah,
bring their
right.
Mac, laptop. Somebody's going to bring in their Acer. Somebody's going to bring in their Lenovo ThinkPad. So
Chromebook.
again, right, Chromebook. So basically, what I suggest to production guys, and this is a quick little tip for our production guys before we wrap up this week, is to actually have a converter box in your podium at the bottom. And just have a cable running, an HDMI cable running up to where the laptop will sit on the podium, or even have an actual HDMI port plug on the top of the podium. So that literally you're just running a small HDMI cable out of the laptop into it. And then you have in the actual converter in the bottom, that's where you're going from HDMI. Again, I run everything SDI, so I'd be running an HDMI to SDI converter that would automatically, no matter what's coming in, I'm sending out properly back to the ATEM switcher.
I've been where you've been, but I mean, I prefer Jason's approach where there's a podium PC and we try in pre-production to get everyone to use the podium PC because we know that computer, it's our computer, we've tested it, we know it's reliable, we know what's installed on it, we know what the settings are. Everyone bringing their own hardware is a recipe for weirdness, and a lot of people push back because they feel insecure using anything except their own computer, but
Right.
causes a lot of technical issues too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure does. Yeah. And again, it's one of those scenarios where it's, it depends is the unfortunate terminology at that particular point, because you might have the people that'll say, I'm not going to actually present unless I can use my laptop. Right. So then all of a sudden you've got the extreme of, I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to feel comfortable. And then of course, Frank, going back to what you said before, the font issue. I've got the font installed. Do you?
Oh, I've been in shows where people
Right.
have created a PowerPoint presentation on their home computer, shown up with a USB stick, installed
Yep.
it, and then you get wingdings instead of fonts, and you get
Yep.
weird sounds when you're not supposed to because none of the things that they used on their computer are installed on this computer, right?
Right, because they didn't go into the settings of PowerPoint and choose compatibility and all those things, but a lot of people don't even know that it's there. Which is why we build it on our end. Okay, send us your content, and We'll go through it and make sure that it all works. And people that say, well, I'm going to present on my machine. Okay, well, what happens when you fly across the country and your machine didn't? It broke. Someone spilled something in there, got lost, whatever. Now what are you going to do? Oh, so you have to have a backup plan anyway. So, send us your presentation. Oh, I'll bring a USB stick. Okay, well, what happens when you walk through the metal detector and it scrambles your USB stick?
Yeah, I've had to help some people who were presenting at like away conferences, and they have to send their presentation in advance. And some of the rules regarding your presentation formatting, what types of files you're allowed to have, what the format of, especially for video, like what codec, what frame rate, what everything is all specified, and they tell you right in the contract, like if you deviate from this, you will not be able to use your materials in the show. We're not accepting. This is the spec. You have to hit that spec. And then a lot of people reach out to my group and say, I don't know how to convert what I have into what they're asking for. I don't even know what they're asking for is. Like, I don't know what that means, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
That's true.
Again, I'm just saying that, some production companies, what they've done is they've done the hands off of the politicalness of my laptop, your laptop.
Yeah,
our
it's all
laptop.
about friction, right? And how much control you have. When the client's paying, quite often you bow down to the client, even if their ideas are stupid,
Yeah.
but they're paying the bill. But if you get to a certain point, hopefully, where you have more pushback and you can say, look, you hired me for my expertise. Let me run the show the way I want to run the show, and I guarantee you a good show. And it depends. Not every situation is like that. And if you're just some poor schlep in the AV industry who's, second year out of school, and you're not going to argue with the client, like it's, you don't want to lose your job over it. But I mean,
At the end of the day, we all want a good presentation. That's what we all want. Whether you're the client, whether you're the AV tech, whether you're the presenter on stage, everyone wants a good, smooth presentation. Okay, now that we've got that shared agreement, how do we best go about getting to that? And that's where the art of negotiation comes in.
Well, I used to experience I won't say the analog to it from my perspective was whenever I was going out to a corporate event when I worked for the IBM company, corporate comms just took everything away from me and said, and then gave it back to me the way they wanted it. Says, you get to push the button. That's it, Peter.
Right.
there's a lot to be said for that, though.
Well, and I learned from that because now I can do the stuff that they would, I got to the point where I could hand in the stuff and they didn't have to do anything. If that makes any sense. Because I took the time to figure out what they'd done to it. And
Sure. Well, that's smart. A lot of people don't. Yeah.
What fonts, what codecs, if you're showing video, that kind of stuff.
We have a professional graphics designer on our crew, and people send their PowerPoint slideshows in advance, and then we make them TV safe or, TV friendly, right?
Right.
Because most people have no idea how to do that, right?
Oh, you should see it the first time I handed out to some of the adults I work with in scouting. I gave them just a simple foil, if you will. I'm dating myself by using that term, I realized, and then put the HD safe bars on it and said, I don't want anything, even though Zoom will quote unquote show full screen, I don't want anything in that outside of this box. Nothing.
Yep, exactly. And of course, if you're running ATEMs, you know where those bars are. And if you disable them, that means you forgot that's what those are for.
Well, I don't ever disable it. It doesn't come across on ME1.
No, it's always in the preview.
Yeah.
I've got to run, gentlemen. Have a good weekend.
Thank you for
Thanks,
the vote of
Frank.
confidence.
Go Canada Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Sneaking it in, he is. Yes, he is.
All right.
All righty, guys.
It's time.
It's time. It's that time. It's karaoke time. Let me find it. It is that time of the show where we go into post show where we can chat off of line. So if you're one of our panelists and you do want to join us to talk afterwards, by all means, you know how to connect up to us. But on that note, it is, let me just make sure I'm hitting everything right here. Yes, I did. Good.
Jason, where are you located?
Oh, Jason, there you go. There's a good one.
Jason,
What's a good one?
Where are you
What's a-
located? I asked you.
Orlando, Florida.
Okay. I'm sorry we never met because for 3.5 years, IBM had held a contract with the Walt Disney Company for their back end data centers. So not the ride control and stuff, but for the
All their
for-
AS400s.
well, and their mainframes that they have, because they, at least back then, they had some mainframes, but also just the ticketing system.
Ticketing system and the reservation system, right?
Oh yeah. And so I was the chief engineer on that account. So,
Oh, neat.
yeah. As a grandfather, my grandkids thought that was the slickest thing since sliced bread, since I had badge access to the parks.
Yeah. And
And
did
Peter-
you get
and
to
Peter
go down
just went-
to Communicore down in the Epcot tunnels?
Oh, two of my data centers were down there.
Okay. Yeah.
So yes, as I said, there was one time I was down there walking. I think it was actually over on the Magic Kingdom side, not Epcot, but walking through one of the tunnels, and I realized I would never bring my, at the time, 6-year-old granddaughter down in this tunnel, because watching Tigger with his head off, smoking a
Right.
cigarette,
Yep.
talking to Tinkerbell was probably
Right. Yeah. No, we as cast members we had terms on stage and backstage.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, were
So
you a cast member at one point?
Yeah. So you had to be show ready when you were on stage,
Yeah.
and then back, and then you had to make sure you were backstage before you did anything that wasn't per the show script.
Yeah.
So yep.
That
That's
was
right.
that was an interesting experience. I had to, because I was one of there were 3 named positions in the contract, what they called named positions in the contract that IBM had with the Walt Disney Company. So the project executive, the delivery executive, and the chief engineer. I was the chief engineer, which anytime that person changed, so I spent 2 months at the Disney Institute getting indoctrinated into the Disney way.
So will Jason actually reveal, as a cast member, what he was casting? Or is he allowed to? Oh, he's keeping silent on me. I'm assuming that's a no.
The dirty secret is even the guys in IT had Disney cast member name tags. I mean, you're not an employee, you're a member of the cast.
Yep. Everybody has a role in the show.
That's right.
And as soon as you're outside X door, you're on stage.
That's right.
That's right. And that was one of the things they even for us vendors, for lack of a better contractors, they were teaching us. I mean, you're on Disney property, you're doing things on behalf of the Walt Disney Company. There are certain behaviors that are expected. My favorite one, though, was when I was the one that's actually stuck with me, Jason. So the question that they asked us at least in our class at the Disney, what was the most frequently asked question at Walt Disney World?
Well, there are two. There are two. The top two are, where's the bathroom?
Yeah.
And what time is the 3:00 parade?
That was the one that we all, and the catch that was the best piece of consulting advice I had already gotten. I was already in my early 50s by that point in time, because so Mike, you're staring at us like you're crazy, but what the
Go for
3:00 parade kicks off on Main Street, at one end of Main Street, at 3:00. But if you're standing up by the Magic Castle, right, it doesn't come by until 3:20, if I remember correctly. See,
Right.
These things come to mind, right? So what you want to do is, when somebody asks you that question, you want to answer it in context.
Context.
And And by the way, the follow-on answer is if the parade hasn't started yet, go tell them to stand in front of the Emporium because they opened up the giant doors and pile air conditioning out onto the street. But it taught me, to me, that was a valuable lesson, to be quite honest, because it taught me, it's a simple thing. When somebody asked me, there are no dumb questions. There may be, I mean, I've always heard that phrase, but that was a real live example of answer the question in the context. Think about the context more than just what the customer is telling you.
Right. What do they actually mean? I heard what they asked, but what is the meaning behind this? What are they actually asking? Right.
Yeah.
So what they're actually asking is, what time will the parade be by this area that I'm currently standing in?
Right.
That's
right.
I always call it, and I'll wrap it up with this. I always call it, there's always a method, and this is especially with me, and my team knows this as well. There's always a method to my madness.
You mean there's not madness in your method?
Well, there could be that too. There could be that too. It depends. And there's that technical word for today. And speaking of Disney, and what do they do well at Disney? They sing. So let's all sing, everybody. It's karaoke time.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks, we'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with these. So if your meetings lag or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth. Keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back. No rest. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen. We've got your back.
No wreck. We almost had a wreck. Did you see it? Were you here at the beginning? It might have been a bit of a wreck in the beginning. But I want to thank everybody for joining us this week on the Zoom Test Kitchen and joining us for our special guest from Streamalive Lux, showing off Streamalive and all its functionalities. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to let YouTube know and Zoom know, because they are watching, how much you like our content. And the more you like and love our content, the more that you might have more Zoomies mysteriously popping up and visiting us potentially every week. And we're here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. So check your local listings depending on where you are amongst yourselves in the world. See everyone next week for another rendition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Take care, everybody on YouTube, and have a great weekend.